106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
It's Wednesday, January 22nd. Welcome to Double Impact. I'm your host, Gabe. I'm running a little late. Sorry about that. I was on the phone with my friend Matthew Marston. He is running errands and doing some stuff, as is Jericho. Seems like everyone is driving around. Maybe they're driving around together, trying to avoid me or something like that. Maybe they had a secret meeting where they decided to go for a ride and not include me. I don't know. Anyway, welcome into the show. We're going to have a good time. So we had a great thing happen in the US of A and in the world. You're welcome, Earth, here on Monday. That's right, Monday the 20th. Donald John Trump is president again, and we are already MAGAing again. And as a San Diegan near the border, this is a very near and dear to my heart kind of thing going on. So I'm very happy about it. Think about what you think about. Says maybe they're on a date. They're probably on a date without me. Well, I wouldn't want to be a third wheel anyway. So, yeah, I'm not sure if Matthew's coming in after all tonight. I was on the phone with him while he was driving for like 20 minutes. We're talking about all kinds of stuff. He said he was very knackered, and he's very, very busy right now with all kinds of good and fun stuff. So, yeah, it was really hard trying to get that nailed down. Johnny Truth says, nice hat. Yeah, people told me I should make these, but this is a one-off that I made for myself. And I also have I have a black one that I made a few years back. I don't know where it is. I think it's right here. Hold on. I have a pile of hats now. Oh, yeah. I like the black one a little bit better. But, yeah, maybe I should make these in some, and you can join my anti-socialist social club. But we don't have a movie tonight because we thought Matthew Marston was coming in, but it seems like he might not come in, or he might just pop in later. I was talking to him about schedules and stuff like that. And my fault. I didn't schedule it out all the way correctly. You know, we talked about it casually, and then we talked about it again today, and the schedule isn't working out great, but that'll be okay. That'll be okay. But you know, it's to me, it's a very momentous time. I don't know. It's a very very important time. On Monday, you know, a lot of people, when Trump was sworn in and all that, they said they felt very emotional and this, that, and the other. And I didn't. I hate to say this because I try to be a good man, but I felt bristling anger when Trump was sworn in, and we knew we were going to get our way. We knew we were going to start to see justice and this and that. And one thing I never want to see that I hear from too many, you don't even have to be Republican or conservative, but just please be anti-woke, because woke is evil and destructive. From the people who are on the anti-woke side of, oh, we got to come together now. We got to this. We got to, like, no. These people are evil. They hate others. They are resentful, and they want to destroy everything that is good, that is of achievement, that is beautiful, that is truthful. They want to destroy it all out of resentment, and they need to be fairly and legally punished, and their power needs to be taken from them completely. And I don't want the Republicans and Trump and all them to, oh, okay, well, they were real mean and did all kinds of stuff, but let's be nice to them. That's how what we just escaped in the last 4 years and barely escaped with the election. It was the end of Western civilization the way we like it. You'd still have a West, but it wouldn't be anything you want to live in. I mean, as an American, I look over at Europe and I see shit where like people make Facebook posts and then they get like a visit from the authorities. Do they get arrested for that over there? Because if they do, that's pathetic, dude. Like, free speech is the cornerstone of society. My goodness. But let's see. CNN is losing their minds. I freaking love it. Yeah, that's let's talk about that a little bit, because I do think it's a cascade of things starting to happen. And I think that I saw this. CNN plans to lay off. I'll put it over here and bring it up for you guys to see. CNN plans to lay off hundreds of employees. Share screen. I'll share my entire screen over there. CNN plans to lay off hundreds of employees, cut costs as NBC plots firings. So, I mean, you can be the fake news for a while, but as soon as the rubber meets the road, there's a price to pay. It's one of the laws of physics. You would think these godless liberals who believe in physics, they believe in the science, which I believe in science, but I also believe in God. I'm smart enough to know those don't conflict. One of the things it says is for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. We know this in physics, right? So if you cheat long enough, you're racing that teeter-totter on one side, it's going to go back. The pendulum's going to swing back. So now that they're starting to have to pay for it, they're apoplectic. They're shocked. These are people that have never been told no in their life, or at least as far as they can remember in recent history. And they have no power now, and they're a joke. Like, I think Hollywood and the news, they know that nobody has any respect for them, and everyone just laughs at them. I saw this other one. Hold on. Let's bring this picture up here. So you guys all saw this, right? Elon Musk was speaking at that thing, and he's like, my heart goes out to you. And he touched his heart, and then he threw up the salute to people. And they're like, Hitler. And I saw that stupid AOC, the bartender from the Bronx or whatever she is. She tried to trash him on Twitter. And if you go look at the comments, everyone's just telling her to fuck off, calling her an idiot, calling her a moron. And it's like, I think the left needs to understand, we're not doing this anymore. We're not. You don't scare us. You're not the names. We're just going to laugh at your bigot, racist, homophobe. We're just going to laugh at you. And it doesn't matter. You have no power here. You don't. It's over. We won. Okay. We won. Let's see. They do get arrested for social media posts in the UK. That's terrible. Well, if Matthew comes on tonight, he said he was very knackered. And then his wife told him to run to the store, and he was happy to do so. Wife, if you're listening, he was very happy to run to the store for you. And run some other errands. But that's terrible. That's horrible. You shouldn't be arrested for your saying that you think something sucks or something's like dumb. Hardy Harmonica, that pick rocks. Yeah. Gotta love Elon. I also love people who hate Elon Musk. That's how I always know someone's an idiot when Musk is an idiot. He just runs like 6 multi-billion-dollar companies. They're the most influential companies in a generation. Probably an idiot, huh? Yeah. Let's see. The good thing, Michael Coulter, he's always here. We love Michael. Gabe, the good thing about Donald Trump being elected is that it's going to cause a ripple effect throughout the world, and that means Europe will change over time, especially England, France, Germany. I hope so. I hope Trump does whatever he can to strong-arm them, because he's the master persuader. He's the ultimate deal maker. I laugh at people that call Trump an idiot, people that call Elon an idiot. That's how I know you're an idiot. When you think Elon or Trump is an idiot, I know that you're an actual idiot. And because I look at the scoreboard. You can't argue with the scoreboard. You can't argue with the resume. You look at what these guys get done. You don't get lucky for decades. You can get lucky once. You don't get lucky for decades like your whole life. No one does. That's just how it is. And I hope Trump strong arms Europe. Tariffs, whatever he does. I'm not a politician. Whatever he can do to set the people there free. Stop it. Stop the flood of immigrants ruining Europe. Stop the authoritarian, nightmarish, Orwellian shit you're doing to the people over there. It's not right. It's anti-human. It's anti-freedom. It's awful. It's anti-Western values completely. We're not those kind of people, any of us in these Western nations. We're free thinkers and we have free speech, damn it. A lot of people died for it. How dare you try and suppress it? Let me get a drink here. Now, we're dealing with Santa Ana winds here in Southern California. Hold on. You may have seen on the news the fires in Los Angeles 2 weeks ago that destroyed lives. So many horrible things in Los Angeles. It's just awful. I think this is a theory, YouTube. I have zero proof. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm allowed to think. Oh, I know that they have arrested people for arson. In San Diego, we've had 5 or 6 fires in the last 24 hours. Right after the news came that we were going to have a day or two of really hard Santa Ana winds. Now, what Santa Ana winds are is like an air fryer. It's ultra hot, ultra dry wind, and it's dry. That's why I'm drinking this water here, because like the air, you could, if you breathe in through your nose, you can feel it burn. The air's so dry. So it dries out all the old dead vegetation, and the fires spread easily. Imagine hot, dry air just blowing and blowing on the bushes. So I know they've arrested people for arson. So I have a theory that that's part of what's going on. I don't have proof, YouTube, but I think so, because it's really mysterious, some of the fires here. A fire like 500 feet from my childhood home this morning. Thank God they put it out. It was my old neighborhood, thousands and thousands of houses. It's North County, San Diego, and it's a nice place. There's golf courses and middle-class homes, really, really fancy millionaire homes. But all of San Diego is just really nice. But yeah, it would have been a disaster if that thing spread. But our fire teams here in San Diego are on top of it, man. I was going down to the store with my wife yesterday to buy lights for my workshop, those big 8-foot tubes. And she looked up on the hill at the University of San Diego. It's that private school there. Said, hey, there's a fire. And there was a huge plume of black and brown smoke coming out in Mission Valley. Mission Valley is a valley in the center of San Diego. That's where the Chargers used to have their NFL stadium. And there's thousands and thousands of condos and dozens of hotels there. It's Hotel Circle is what that's called. And if that thing had jumped out of the vegetation it was in, you can forget it, man. That's 5,000, 10,000. I don't know how many houses are there in condos, but it would have been a disaster. And the fire crews put it out. And yeah, there have been different. 2 fires started at 1 a.m. That's weird, right? Because it's cold at night here. It's in the 40s. That's cold for us. That's cold for Southern California. So I think some weird shit's going on. I don't know. Thank God San Diego doesn't have the government that Los Angeles has. This is a much more conservative city. We have more military people here than any city in the world. So you got a lot of conservatives here, a lot of patriots and stuff. So our cities run a little bit differently. Like when the city council, like Democrat ladies here, 3 of them, they voted like, we will be a sanctuary city and not work with Donald Trump and the ICE and the Border Patrol and all that. The sheriff, who's a woman here in San Diego, said, you don't tell me what to do. I run the jails and all that stuff here, and we will cooperate with ICE and deport illegals. So that's a based woman as the sheriff here in San Diego. So I love that. So there you go. Yeah, I love that completely. But let's see. Santa Ana winds sounds like a resort. No, it's awful. The Santa Ana winds are terrible. They come in a couple times a year just for a few days. I don't know what causes it. But it's gross because it's like so dry, So let me read the comments here. Hardy Harmonica's here. Nicholas Hardick is here. Heather's here. The Ragu Overlord is here. None the Miser is here. Johnny Truth. Tony's here all the way from Australia is here. Alpha Proto is here. Think about what you think about is here. Thank you guys for coming in. Guys, hit the like, hit the share. I've got great news on Big Man Comics. We are steamrolling ahead. Steamrolling, I say. Hold on. Let me show you some artwork that I have from that. And we'll get... I got a new operating system on my Mac, and it clears the screen out when I click off the window. Hold on. We got some really fun stuff coming in. I think I threw it in the trash, though. Hold on. Let me dig it out of my messages. But the Tyrus book is penciled up to page 40. It is 1/3 done. Empyrean, the final colors will be done the first week of February-ish by Valentine's Day. And I'll letter the book right after that, design it. And I have a partner I'm talking to about publishing, distribution, all that. So this is going to be huge when Empyrean comes out. It's going to be probably the biggest thing I've done up to this point as far as media exposure and sales and all that, hopefully. But here's a little bit of the art from Empyrean. This is just a snippet, just a snippet. It's guys, it's fun science fiction. It's like that. It's not fantasy like Star Wars where we have the Force and all that, but it does delve into the spiritual a bit for fun. I'll bring up my own OBS system there. Golly, Gabe, what the hell are you doing? This your first day on the internet? There, that's the window I was looking for. But yeah, big. That's just a panel from Imperium there. You got our robot, Otomo, Mr. Henry, and Oliver, the main character there. And he's talking to a little something on his wrist there, that little glowing orange guy. I'll leave that for the book for you guys to figure out what's going on there. But you're going to want to order this when we put it on the crowd fund. I'd say March, April. Cross your fingers. We'll see. Here's just a panel from Tyrus. These are my inks here. My buddy Akion is doing the layouts for me, and I'm doing the inks. But yeah, this one's up to 40 pages penciled, and then 25 almost inked. I was inking 25 today, but I didn't finish. Think about what you think about. Says, I don't own many comics, but I love what I've received from Big Man Comics so far. Well, thank you very much. And we are ramping up. You know, we've only put out the 2 books, but I've got 5 in the works for this year. You know, I've got Dean Cain Volume 2, The Hong Kong Connection. I've got The Unstoppable Tyrus. I have Empyrean. I have Jericho Green and the Hammerheads. And I have Tripoli, my military action thriller that I wrote about a month ago. It just came to me out of nowhere. So, yeah, Big Man Comics is rolling ahead. And I'll plug in and show you guys some more art on my iPad from that in a minute here. But last time I plugged the iPad in last week, it crashed everything. Remember? I was gone for like 15 minutes. It was horrible. Let's see. Heather says, when you guys get the wind, so do I in Arizona. Oh, really? But Arizona's always hot and dry. So do you even, I guess you notice the wind, but you don't notice the hot and dry because it's always hot and dry. Let's see. Alpha Proto asks, can satellites and local cameras see what's causing the fires? I know it isn't lightning. Well, what they say is the strong wind comes in and knocks down the electric wires, like the electricity that feeds the city and the houses and all that, knocks them down in the wilderness, and then the electricity sparks, lights up the bushes. I could see that. Why are our power lines not buried, by the way? It should be buried. There was a lawsuit around where I live where they were supposed to bury them all, and they got the approval and all that, and then the money was spent on something else allegedly. So then there was a lawsuit, and they're like, sorry, we spent the money on something else. We'll bury the power lines. That was, I think, 10 or 15 years ago, and they're still not buried. California has the stereotype of when you think of a horrible government, it has just about the worst. But that the good places to live, if you do live in California, are San Diego and Orange County, because those are Republican places. They are, at least they're not woke crazy like the Bay Area and Los Angeles and all that. So I don't know. The left would love to arrest people here for social media posts. Well, what do you think canceling is? I mean, cancel culture, which now has no teeth anymore. Cancel culture is the symbolic killing of a person. If you take away their reputation, their circle of friends, ostracize them, you take away their job, you take away their banking, you take away their social media, you are taking everything but their heartbeat and brainwaves, right? You're taking their life, more or less. It's, if they could kill you, they would, is how I look at it. They can't, so they don't. But if they could, they would. Now, that's just me theorizing what they're doing. I cannot read minds. But it sure as hell looks to me like they would love to destroy people for daring to think differently than them, which is just outrageously stupid and evil, not to mention evil. Let's see. In Truth, Justice, American Way, in the same universe, or will all titles be their own books with no connections of any kind? Truth, Justice, American Way is its own thing. My books they're separate. It's not an interconnected universe. I'm doing my books like this. I'm doing them like a movie studio. We're doing these as one-off stories with a beginning, a middle, and an end. That way, when you buy it, you know what it is, you love it, and you don't have to worry about, oh, I missed issue 7 and I got to go back and do this and that. Now, like a movie studio, if I put out a book and it makes me millions of dollars, I will put out sequels to it because obviously you struck a vein of gold there and readers want more of that, and the customer is king. The customer is always right. You got to give them what they want. But as a creative, I want to do everything. I want to do Western. I want to do a little bit of horror, like monster stuff. I want to do crime. I love crime stuff. I want to do period pieces. You know what I mean? I want to do everything because I love writing, and I love writing all kinds of interesting characters. But it's always my voice as a writer. It's always my themes of righteousness and fatherhood and the things that I love. I put that in all my stories because what's in you is what comes out of you artistically. But I want to go everywhere. I mean, life is short, man. I'm already 46 years old. Just started my own company, like 2 years ago. So I got a lot of catching up to do on writing stuff. You know, I wrote a lot when I was younger, and then I took a lot of time off just making artwork for DC Comics and Marvel and all the companies. And I didn't get to write. You know, I had a lot of stories in my head, a lot of stories on my hard drive that I wrote while I worked there. but I didn't get to be a writer because, whatever, they had me as an artist. So now that I'm writing again, I want to go everywhere, into the future, into the past, into space, everywhere. I want to do everything. So I'm so glad Gabe isn't doing the multiverse like Marvel does. Yeah, I think that what happens if you have this interconnected universe, it can be fun, but I think it also is like gatekeeping for casual fans. Because if I have like 35 heroes and 5,000 issues and all this stuff, then what about people who don't know all my characters and all my history and all my stuff? Then they're going to be like, oh, like, what do I do? Like, I can't catch up because I don't know who Iron Man's uncle is. And was that his uncle's dog or is that Dr. Doom's dog? And then, like, I think continuity in comics is good, but it becomes a double-edged sword because they're like, you have to watch everything and read everything and know everything. And like, I want my stuff to be significant, right? I want it to matter. I want it to change lives. I want it to make people happy. But I also want, I hate to use the word disposable, but I do want it to be escapism. I don't want it to feel like homework. So when you pick up Tripoli or you pick up, Empyrean or whatever, you can read it and it will always have a beginning, middle, and end. But, if sales warrant it, okay, we'll do a sequel. But the sequel will have a beginning, middle, and end. And we'll always put that in every book because I worked with a guy once and he wanted to do an independent comic. And he said, in the first issue, we won't hit the ending. We won't blow up the Death Star. We'll go right up to before the rebels blow up the Death Star. And then we'll end the book and that'll get them to buy issue 2. And I said, no, that'll piss them off. That'll piss them off that they gave us all this money and trusted us to make them a book. And then we didn't give them an ending. You can't tease people like that. That's crazy. So I don't believe in doing that. I don't think that's a wise thing to do. Other people might do it, whatever. I'm not going to get in anyone else's business. If they want to do it. Personally, to me, that doesn't make any sense. I know as a customer, I would hate that. I would hate if I went to the movies and I want like okay, here's to contradict me, but to not contradict me, to agree with me. Empire Strikes Back. It doesn't have an ending, right? Han Solo's captured. Luke's hand gets cut off. The bad guys get away, and the good guys are going to go after him. Movie's over. And then you get Return of the Jedi. Now, the reason that works because they told you were going to get Return of the Jedi. So there you go. That's fair. But I think if you put out a book and the first one doesn't have an ending, you better have those other books done and get them out fast or something. I don't know. Like, just to me, I want people to look at it like movies, where they could read the whole story. They could hand it to a stranger. They could hand it to why would you hand a comic to a stranger? Can you imagine you're just at the grocery store or the mall and you just hand a comic to a stranger? You hand it to a relative, a nephew, a niece, an aunt, an uncle. You hand it to somebody and say, hey, read this. It's awesome. And they don't have to have read 50 volumes before. They don't have to have read everything after, in between, and other books and blah, blah, blah. You just hand them the Unstoppable Tyrus, volume 1, and they love it. You hand them volume 2, they still will get it and understand it. Because when I'm sure the Tyrus book will be a hit, so I'm sure there'll be sequels. It'll recap at the beginning of the story, but seamlessly. We'll make it nice and smooth so the recap isn't like boring for the old readers. But that way a new reader can access and go, okay, this is who he is. This is how he got his powers. They kind of catch him up to speed. But in writing, you show, don't tell. So you don't have the character turn to the camera and go, and that's when you got your powers and defeated the ultimate bad guy last week. You don't, like, I see writing like that, and it's like, boy, you see, it's seamless. You got to seduce the reader. You got to be gentle like a lover. It's there's a real subtlety and a real nuance and you got to finesse it when you write stuff. You can't just, hey, this is what's happening and it's important and you should care. You can't. There's so much bad writing, out there. So I don't know. I love writing. I love reading. It's always been a passion of mine. So I don't know. Let's see. The Ragu Overlord said, I like the variety. The titles in the background all look classy. Thank you. We're having a blast with these. We're having a blast with that. Alf Broder says, that's good. I like standalone with the chance of a sequel. Always a chance for new readers to jump in. Yes, I want my books to be the number one thing. My good friend Mike Barron, legendary award-winning comic writer, says the first goal is to entertain. So, and part of entertaining is executing. You have to have the skills, and then you execute your skills. And another part is accessibility. I don't want anyone to pick up any of my books and go, I don't get it. So, oh, you got to read volumes 1 through 9 first. Like, I don't want that. I don't want that. Every volume, like the 3 original Indiana Jones movies, even though I hate the middle one, Jericho. You can watch the Indiana Jones movies, any one of them, and they work. But you feel he has a way bigger life story. They're very good at like filling your imagination emotionally. That, oh, Indiana Jones has this whole life I don't know about, but I know about it, but I don't know. That kind of concept. but the adventure is just the adventure, and it makes sense. So yeah, that's how I'm going to do my stuff. That's how I do my stuff. It's important to me to make these big worlds. So what I'm going to do now, I want to show you this. My wife sent me this just now on Twitter. It was the Trump effect. Now we live by the border here, so we live in San Diego, and this is the #1 spot where Biden's border failure was like going crazy. We had like 200,000 illegals come into San Diego last year. I kid you not. I noticed like 8 months ago that there's more traffic on the roads and freeways. And I told my wife, these have got to be illegals. Like just suddenly there's more traffic. And we usually had pretty decent traffic, though it wasn't too bad for us, like where we live and all. We live in a good spot. And I just noticed there just seemed to be like more people everywhere. And I'm like, well, you had 200,000 people. Now, what I did hear, though, is those people, they would take them, put them in hotels here, and then put them on planes and trains and buses to other parts of the country. You know what I mean? So it's insidious, man. It's what Obama and them have been doing since like, when did this shit start? Like 2012 or 2013 with Syrians and Somalians and just bringing all these people in here. And they do it to change the demographics. That's why they do it. They do it to change voting. Look at Minnesota with that Ilhan Omar. Well, I think the area she's in, it's like all Somali refugees and asylum seekers. So then, of course, they vote for Somali. Now, I've never been to Minnesota, but my impression of Minnesota was it was white as snow. And I mean white people. And now I guess it's filled with people who will vote for a not so great politician like Ilhan Omar. And where I'm from, Weld County, Colorado was one of the whitest counties in America. Starting under Obama, I see, like, if you go to Greeley, Colorado, that's my hometown. I go visit there. My dad lives there. It's white, 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 white. Now, there was a good chunk of Mexicans there because a lot of farmland around there. They worked on a lot of farms. There's a giant slaughterhouse there, Swift meat processing plant. So there were a lot of Mexicans, immigrants and stuff like that for decades there. But it was white. This is a white, white place. And I go there and I'm like, oh, wow, that's Somalian people and stuff like for like the last 10 years. And you would just never see that for the first 30 something years of my life. You would never see things like that in that town. So, and Obama and them, their plan was to take those people who were probably not white and probably most likely not conservative and go stick them in the most conservative districts in America to flip voting. It's terrible. It's terrible they do that. And I'm glad Trump is putting a stop to all of it. But what my wife sent me here is Donald Trump, promises made, promises kept, surprise immigration checkpoint on the I-8 towards Yuma, Arizona. So if you drive east in San Diego, where that fire was by the football stadium, that's the 8 freeway. It goes all the way to like Phoenix, Arizona, or not Phoenix. It goes all the way to Arizona. You have to go on the 10 to get to Phoenix. But yeah, now that's where the illegals come through because that's desert. Once you leave San Diego, about 10, 15, 20 miles to the east, you're in the desert now. And you're in the desert until you get to Arizona. There's little towns sprinkled throughout, little country towns, desert towns. But there's like no border wall half the time. And that's where the stuff's coming through all night. People come through. And now, if you see this video, they got border agents and patrol there. I heard that Trump was going to put like 10,000 troops on the border. And they said 1,500 from Camp Pendleton. Camp Pendleton is the Marine base here in San Diego. So yeah, so this is not what has been going on the last 4 years. So it's a welcome respite from our country just being stolen from us. Heather obviously doesn't work for the Chamber of Commerce of the city of Yuma, Arizona. She says Yuma is a shithole. So there you go. Andy Contreras says, I agree that original Indiana Jones are good, but I must disagree that you on the second part as crunchy peanut butter reigns supreme. What? No. I'm a crunchy peanut butter guy. Jericho's team cream. No, we're simpatico, brother. I'm crunchy all day and all night, baby. More at night too. But yeah, no, crunchy peanut butter. Creamy peanut butter is for children. That's for little kids. It's not for grown men with beards and mortgages. I got a grandchild. I'm a grown man. All right. Creamy peanut butter. What are you going to put the crust off next? So now I'm going to take my iPad and plug it into my computer and try and show you some of the Tyrus art and the Empyrean art. Now, last week when I did this, it crashed everything, and I don't know why. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if now I have a new computer though. This computer's not even a year old. This thing is a beast. It's a Mac Studio, and it's it's the best computer I've ever had, and it never has any trouble. But last week, all my internet, everything crashed, and we'll see. We'll see here. So let me remove this. So I'm going to show you guys some Tyrus pages and stuff like that. Hopefully that's what I'm doing. I'm going to do that, or I'm going to crash my computer. So we'll see. Okay, let me close Twitter. Let me close that. I don't want to dox myself. Let me close a bunch of shit on my iPad. Just swiping it all shut. I just want to show you artwork. That's all. That's all. That's all. So I'm glad you guys are enthused about what I'm showing you. Let's see. Move that. Okay. I object. Team Creamer's representative is not present. Oh, point of order. Point of order. That is true. That is true. Actual procedure. Jericho will be here. Let's see. Jericho is Team Cream. Clip. I'll give you a better clip. Hold on. Jericho is Team Cream. I left you a little room on the sides there so you could clip it. Clip away, my friend. Let's see. Let's see. Master swag. So since you have 4 comic books in the works, that feels like half a sentence. Do you have a question, sir? I have 5 in the works. I have the 4 behind me. We don't have a cover for Tripoli yet because I just invented Tripoli. I assume waiting 4 or 5 years for each book. No, I say they did. We're trying to get all 5 of them done this year. Right now, Empyrean is done. The colors will be done by about Valentine's Day, and then I'll letter it and design it right after that. And then we'll be announcing how that's going to be crowdfunded, published, printed, shipped, and all that. And you're going to be thrilled when you find out got a partnership coming up. Something very cool. You'll see. You'll see. It's very cool what's going on there. And then the Tyrus book is after that. And then Tripoli will get drawn after that. And then Dean Cain All-America Lawman Volume 2, The Hong Kong Connection, will get drawn after that while I am working on the Jericho Green book. So I think the Dean Cain and the Jericho Green book, that's like end of the year. Hopefully we'll have those done. You know what I mean? But you never know. You never know. Let me bring this up. Let's see. iPad. No, we got the iPad plugged in here. See, why does this thing do this? Gabe L-Tape's iPad. Cancel. I don't know why this goes on. Every fucking week this thing fights me, man. Video capture device. We'll call it iPad 3. I have to make a new camera for this stupid thing. This is the... Ugh. Okay, see, I don't understand what's happening here. Oh, I do understand what's happening. You got to plug it in here. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, can you guys see that? Can you see that up there? Yeah? Let me move myself over to the side so you can see the both of us. I'm going to move myself over here and then shrink myself. I'm shrinking. Can you see that? Let me know if you can see that. Okay, so this is the Tyrus comic here. So you can see this is the Procreate program in here. And these are, I'm not going to zoom in on all of them. I don't want to spoil it for you. But as you can see, these are pencils here. The brown one is the one I'm currently working on. And we have up to page 40. So that's 40 right there. You see that red bear there? That's something I was working on for somebody. Something I was working on for Jericho, actually. But yeah, right above that red bear, that's page 40 of the Tyrus book. But here is, we'll show you, I'll show you, there's a scene where he's with his pal, and they're shooting at the range. I think I showed some of this last week. But yeah, we're having a lot of fun with this thing. There's fantasy in it, like Indiana Jones, like ancient mysteries and temples, ancient civilizations. There's mutant powers like the Ninja Turtles and the Incredible Hulk and all that. Superheroes. This thing goes all over the place because since I'm the writer and I own it, I'm able to just do whatever I want with the story. So yeah, we go all over. It's filled with action and violence, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. But here's the one I'm working on today. This is page 25. Now, these are just the pencils. Now, this is how I do this. So I'll have the pencils here, right? And then I'll dump on top of it a brown layer and make it semi-transparent. And this is for the health of your eyeballs, because it's not good to stare at something so bright all day, which is pure white. And you want it to be in the yellow color spectrum. You don't want it to be blue and all that. That'll like fatigue your eyes. It's bad for you. And then, so then I'll take a look at these pencils, check them out. My buddy Akion's doing the pencils, and then I'm doing the ink. And then, like you see this face here, like I saw that there, but I like to draw eyes a little differently. So I redrew this face here in the pencil. And then in the ink, there it is. You know what I mean? So that's the ink there. And then I started working on the background up here. And I draw right through the characters, and I will erase. I'll erase the background, obviously, when I start to draw the characters there. So I guess I could draw this character simply for you, since it's just a silhouette of a police officer, just to show you. I'll just draw this here. So I have this Clayton Henry ink bleed pen. And I wish Jericho was here, because then he could read the chat while I'm doing this, but oh well. But I was thinking of doing live streams and doing some artwork in live streams to show you guys, show you how it's done. You know what I mean? But this is a great tool. I'd prefer to do this stuff all on real pen and ink, but it would take months longer, I think, because this thing saves you a lot of time helping you with perspective and all that. It doesn't, a lot of people, lay people, I don't blame them for not knowing, but it doesn't draw for you. It doesn't do that, but it will help you with corrections and all kinds of stuff like that. It'll help simplify certain things and streamline some processes that you have to do. So, but I'm really enjoying it. And if you're wondering why I'm just going outside the lines, I'm going to just end up filling that in. So it won't matter, you know, it won't matter that that's like that. So, yeah, this stuff, you can really make a lot of corrections easily, and you can put things on different layers. So you see, I have that background there, but I don't have to worry about it, because again, I'm going to draw right over it and then erase what I don't want in there. So, and I'll tell you, as someone that's been having a pencil, a paintbrush, and all that, and ink pens in their hands since they were 3 years old, this Apple Pencil, it simulates real work. Like, it's insane. It's insane how good it simulates a real tool. I don't know how it works, but it's freaking amazing. See, and stuff like that, you could throw a line a few times so you get it just the way you want it, you know. And if you're doing it with just ink by hand, you got one chance to get it right, or else it's time to get the whiteout out to make your corrections. Oh, Jericho's sitting there. Hello, love.
Hello, Gabna.
How you doing, man?
Doing all right. Living La Vida Loca. Living in Trump's America.
Yeah. What's the latest from Northern California?
Just up here enjoying all this superior Mexican food, you know.
Oh,
well, you don't know, but
well, it's superior to like Taco Bell or Del Taco, but
well, what's not?
You know, it's
what's not?
Yeah,
but you know, somebody has to eat the subpar Mexican food, so it might as well be you guys.
Right.
Right.
I feel sorry for Jericho, so I just let him go with that.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So, no, I was just giving them a quick inking demo. Since this body was just a silhouette, I figured it would be easy to show. But I was talking to Matthew on the phone. I don't know that he's coming in tonight. I told him, he said he was knackered. He's been running ragged. And yeah, then his wife told him at the last minute to go to the store, and he was very happy to do it for her, just in case she's listening.
You better.
He was very happy to go to the store for her. And then
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, happy.
He totally didn't want to lay down and watch TV at the end of like a 15-hour day. I'll tell you that.
Hey, you know what? Wouldn't that be cool if you could bottle the feeling of working hard all day, and when you first sit down, you could just bottle that first 10 seconds of, you know what I mean? Or the feeling of taking your shoes off after a long day, or getting into bed after it's a long day, you've taken a shower,
right?
You know, and getting into bed. Oh, right. Man. You could bottle that, we'd rule the world, Gabe, with an iron fist.
Yeah. What's another great feeling? Wait, no, we shouldn't go there.
Oh, that's easy. There are multiple steps in that whole, you know, in the arena of that activity that are very, say pleasurable. We'll leave it at that.
All right.
But yeah, definitely maybe the feeling of like 3 sneezes in a row. That'd be kind of cool.
No, I have a thing I do that's rude, and I want you to tell me, because it is rude. When I was in 5th grade, someone explained to me that back in like the colonial American days, they started saying "bless you" when people sneezed because they were afraid their soul was going to come out.
Yes, I've heard that.
I thought that was so fucking stupid and preposterous. I don't say "bless you" to people when they sneeze, because as a 5th grader, I'm like, I'm not participating in stupid shit like that. That is very rude of me, because everyone does it. What is the big deal, Gabe? Just fucking stop with your weird protests from 5th grade. I don't say "bless you" to anyone, and I feel bad.
It's cool. But
dude, I'm 36 years into my protest here. So I'm doubling down now. I've got the sunk cost fallacy going.
I mean, those people who know you, that probably wouldn't be a big deal, especially knowing your protest. But
Right.
I don't think that's a major infraction in the world. But I mean, it puts you.
It's weird.
You're not a dick, but you're like across the street from being a dick, you know. But like you said,
it's not nice.
But you're 36 years into it, so I mean, what are you gonna do now?
Right.
You just got to
right.
lean
Like,
into
what am I
it.
supposed to do? Just bless you to everyone now.
Just to make up for it. But I get it. It is silly, but it's one of those things that at the time, hey,
yeah. But I wonder why that bothered me so much, because that's not the only stupid whatever thing we do as people, but somehow that bothered me so much that I decided to never say it.
There's some things, man, they just piss you off more than others. Some things just grind your gears, man. They burn your biscuits. And that must have been the one you're like, what, bless what? Mother, that was just the one that got you, that stuck to you.
I don't know. It just like, what? The spirit's gonna shut up.
But I respect the longevity of your protest. I do respect that. Whether you agree with it or not, you got to respect somebody who commits to something.
Even if it's dumb.
Even if it's kind of ridiculous. Hey, that's your life.
Like that guy that named his son. The guy that named his son Dallas Cowboys.
I mean, that's borderline abuse. He might as well have punched that kid in his stomach because you named your son Dallas Cowboy. Not only like you're a jackass for doing that, and for attaching such things to a sports team that doesn't even know you exist. But to put your son through that's the messed up part. Because guess what? He's going to get ridiculed mercilessly because you gave him a stupid ass name like Dallas Cowboy. And that would go, I'm a Niner fan, since 84, and I would even somebody name their kid 49er or Niner. That would be ridiculous.
I mean, I think it would be ridiculous to name your son like after your favorite ball player if the ball player had like a weird name. Like if you named your son Orenthal because you loved O.J. Simpson, like Jericho.
But it's a name though. It's out there. It's in the hat. It's in the name hat, and you can dig around in there.
You can't be named Adolf. And you can't be named Orenthal, not for at least like 100 or 200 more years.
200 more years? Adolf, if you come from there, if you come from another country, then you kind of have a pass. But like, yeah, if you're like American and your parents name you Adolf, you know where that's coming from.
Adolf,
I think
get back in the trailer. Shut the damn screen door, Adolf.
I think some white supremacist really did name his son Adolf. And then I knew somebody who used to bang this Chola, and her brother named his son Raider. So it's out there, man. It's very unfortunate for you to throw your kid in front of the oncoming freight train known as insults on the playground. What a dick.
Yeah. Let's go through some of the comments here. Hardy Harmonica says hello to Jericho with the salute. By the way, that's one of the greatest emojis of all time. The half head with the salute. Heather says Mexicans are her favorite. I can't find a good chili relleno in this town. I don't like the chili relleno. The big pepper stuff with cheese and the egg wash or the egg fry.
But I think we got to put an apostrophe in the Mexicans because you saying the Mexican people. Mexicans my favorite.
I think she mean Mexican food is my favorite.
I know what she meant, but at a glance, if I had to pick a race, Mexicans.
I had to pick a race. Is that?
I think they're so much fun. Chili relleno, not a big fan, but cheese, some kind of breading.
I'm gonna pass on the chili relleno. I'm gonna pass.
I'm not mad at it.
Not my style. So not my thing.
I never heard that. I thought your heart stopping when you sneeze, but that's along the lines of your spirit's gonna leave. It's not as ridiculous, but yeah. If nobody said if you were by yourself and you sneezed, you're fucking dead. So before they knew shit.
Now Chris Rock had my grandpa's stepbrother. We call him Uncle Si. He would go outside or leave the room to burp because he thought it was too rude
to do that. Yeah, I understand.
And he called it belching, which is like old school, I guess.
Oh man, he was like, clutching my pearls era. Okay.
Yeah, but he's like, I had to go belch. I'm like, all right, dude. See you later.
Later, dude.
Later, dude.
See you when you get back, fool.
Look at this fool. He's got to go belch outside, fool.
But Chris Rock had a good bit talking about, why some things, some beliefs were the way they were a long time ago. He had a bit, I think it was on Bring the Pain, 96, where he was talking about how a long time ago, eating pork or something like that could kill you because there was no refrigeration, or maybe they didn't have any preserving methods back then. But, tell people, attach it to religion. That way people won't question it and they'll believe it. Maybe he was like, it's pork's killing people. We got to figure out
but even the Levitical laws in the Bible doesn't make it mystical. It says that pork is unclean. They didn't hide that. They said, no, it's unclean. Don't eat it, So.
But now with, raising pigs for food, giving them better feed than maybe actually feed doesn't get any better what they would get out in the wild. But they're certainly not eating garbage. But as I say that, I remember watching an episode of Diners, Drivers, and Dives in Las Vegas, and it showed what they did with all the waste from from the hotel. I think it was
I've seen that one.
Like the Bellagio. I think it was the Bellagio. And it actually ends up going to a pig farm after they sift out all of the plastic.
Dude, we're here at the Bellagio.
And so I guess technically they were eating garbage, being that we put it inside of a container.
But it took all the food and they put it in this big hopper and they boiled all of it. And then they pulled out, I remember they pulled out like a coat hanger and some other trash.
Oh, yeah.
Melted it into this pinkish brown liquid gravy. And the pigs just ate it all up. So, let's see. Braden Villoria. Hey, would you guys like live critique my comic on Kickstarter pre-launch? I have 7 pages up and want opinions. I'm not going to do that right now, but you could tweet at me and I'll take a look at it for sure. But I wouldn't do that right now. Not ready to do that. Heather says she has 17 mile an hour winds. Thanks, Santa Ana. Wow.
17 miles an hour.
Alpha Proto, growing up now, Louisiana. He says he grew up superstition. You got to spit on your broom if you sweep your feet on accident. It's a Creole thing.
Mm. My mom, she always said, don't put your hat on the bed because that means somebody's going to die. She always told me that. Weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've
always been like not a cynic, but like a skeptic and roll my eyes at that shit. And I'm talking 6 years old rolling my eyes at that shit. That's why the sneeze thing pisses me off. I remember my neighbors, these girls, they were undocumented immigrants from Mexico when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old. They lived next door to my grandparents' restaurant. And they told me, and I saw pictures of them with shaved heads. And I've seen some relatives of Mexican relatives of mine with shaved heads for the little girls when they're 3, 4, 5 years old. And I'm like, what's that about? I'm like, oh, if you shave your hair, it'll grow back thicker. And I'm just like, no, it won't. That's not stupid. That's not how the human body works. Your hair's not living tissue. It's not connected to your nervous system. How would your hair ever be able to tell your fucking body that it was cut? There's no way for your body to know how long your hair is. So cutting your hair does not make it thicker. Stop shaving little girls' heads. Knock it off.
But that's now with that we know everything. Yeah, that's less ridiculous than your spirit leaving your body. But that's very young Sheldon of you. You ever seen that show? He's a kid.
Which show?
Young Sheldon. He's a kid and he's
I hate that Big Bang Theory, so I couldn't bring myself to watch Young Sheldon.
But it's he feels that way about things like that.
Don't tell me I'm like Young Sheldon. How dare you?
We got to keep it real here on 102.3 The Meat.
102.3 The Meat. No filler. It's all real.
All steak. Would you like some gravy? Oh, give it to me.
Is it hot gravy?
Is it hot gravy? Oh, yeah. In the 80s, that would have been two like blonde chicks with, big fake titties and a bikini. That's just how it was. I remember this poster a friend of mine had. I think it was one of my dad's. It was one of my dad's friends' shops where there was like a Playboy calendar all the time, and it was can't drive, 55, and it was this tall, blonde highway patrol officer, and her car was a Lamborghini.
The Countach or the Diablo?
No, it was a Diablo. It was a Lamborghini Diablo. Had the spoiler on it, like the door was up and shit, and it was like a Nevada desert. And she was pulling somebody over. She says, can't drive 55.
I told you my buddy Chris.
Oh,
my buddy Chris had a Makita power drill poster, and the girl's boobs were out. Her shirt was unbuttoned. Yeah. And we were only like 15, and his mom let him have that, and I couldn't believe it.
Oh, I was seeing those as a little kid, like 8, 9, 10 years old, going with my dad, to the Husqvarna shop and shit like that. But that's just good marketing. I mean, who's buying this shit? Who's buying Makita drills? Who's buying Husqvarna saws? And who's buying these things, the beer and all that? Guys are. So fucking market toward them. Guys like chicks.
Are you one of those toxic men that likes boobs and women?
So toxic.
So toxic right now?
Yeah. And I, it's very upsetting to me that I would be labeled as toxic when it's something that I can't help. It's in my DNA to like things of that nature because I'm a man. So if you know who's buying your shit, then market toward them. Don't fuck around. Don't change the people you're marketing toward. Don't focus on this tiny little niche group that doesn't buy shit.
You need the modern audience.
Stop. Just target who is buying your shit. It's okay. You're in business. We understand how it works. We're not going to look down on you or think you're a phobe or an ist or some kind because you're targeting your audience. You sell power tools. So I don't want to see two chicks feebly putting together some IKEA bullshit on a commercial because that's not who's buying your shit. Some guy who drinks beer, likes football, likes to pinch his wife's ass when he catches her bending over in the kitchen. That's who buys your shit. So market toward them.
You really think that you catch your wife bending over the kitchen? Don't you feel like they bend over when they hear you coming? Like,
I mean, they know what's up.
They know what the score is.
But that's the game we play,
Right. You both have to act like you're not into it. Like, oh, that hurt. And then you say, fine, I'll stop doing it. No.
But what a cool game to play. It ends with you having a handful of ass. So sign me up twice on Sundays for that. But yeah, that's who you're going after. It's okay.
On Twitter, I saw like a Russian, it was like a UFC league, but it was like literally women in bikinis like spanking each other. You seen this on Twitter?
No, but it sounds interesting.
I don't know. I wasn't searching for it. It popped up in my feed.
Right.
It popped up in my feed after I searched for it. But
hit the search bar.
But I showed my wife and I said, I would be the champion of this league. I would be I'd be the fucking Tom Brady of that league.
Yeah, I don't want a belt. I want a crown. But it's like Jimmy Kimmel. He used to be on that show, Man Show. Right. It would literally end, I think begin and end, with girls with big titties jumping slow motion.
The juggies.
The juggies on a trampoline.
Right.
And then they had big old mugs of beer, and it was guy shit. Yeah. Jenny McCarthy was in the audience with all these dudes, and she was like, "What's up, guys? What do you think when a girl does this?" And she stuck a microphone in their face. She was beautiful. She was voluptuous because it's called The Man Show. What do men like? And the audience was full of 20-something dudes. But that's what it was. Now Jimmy Kimmel has his testicles firmly duct taped to his taint, and he cries all the time.
Sad. It's sad. The Man Show was hilarious. Hold on. Double brewski for $2. This might be the greatest super chat I've ever received. Let's see if somebody can top it. But for now, this is Hall of Fame level. Yep. Here's $1 for every gender that exists. $2.
So true. And it's been decreed from the highest mountain. So thank you.
Here you go, double brewski. You get the booty.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty.
Oh goodness.
There it is.
Now I'm gonna just have me up here for just a second because I'm almost done with this thing and I wanted to show them something. Okay, so I took this penciled face of our Tyrus character and I inked it, right? So we went from this, it's pencil, and then we tighten it up with some inks. You can see the difference there, right? So, but the great thing about using an iPad to draw with is now you can do things like this. You can take an eraser that's the same as your pencil, and you can go back, and now you can put some hair on his beard like this. and get a nice texture. Now you could do this in real life with a real pencil and paper, but you would be using white paint, and the degree of difficulty and just time spent is much harder. So I love stuff like this for the iPad. I think that's what makes it real nifty, you know. And you can just just put in a few hairs on the beard like that, and you can just kind of see what looks good, see what doesn't look good, fix it, unfix it, whatever. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that really quick. But yeah, this is live working on this here. What do you think of this, Jericho? Does this still fascinate you, this comic book stuff?
Yeah, it's very interesting to understand how it's done, but to also, a lot of this is just stuff you've done and learned what works, and your mind has filtered out all the trimmed the fat of these what's the word I'm looking for? Like basically just the way you do the art of art. Like knowing how many hairs to put in his beard to give it the look you want it to give, and do those lines need to be widened or thinned, or stuff like that. Because you just know from doing it, what works. So it's always cool, no matter what it is. It's always cool to see somebody do something that they're great at. Just watch it work and watch it come together. Like going and putting in the dark, drawing the dark lines and stuff here and there, and watching it come to life. Watching the features and stuff in their face or whatever the scene is, happen. So that's always cool.
Yeah, and we're far along. I was showing them. We got. Oh, I didn't mean to show that. Isn't that great, that car? But we are up to page. I'll bring it back on here now. We're up to page 40 drawn of this book here. So yeah, very, very excited. Let me take this down because I want to show them something else, but I don't want to log into it while I'm live on the air, right?
Log it.
But here's some. Let's see. Let's make this full screen. Hold on. Here's a page from Empyrean, the sci-fi book I've been talking about forever.
Right.
This is hold on. Let me make myself a little bigger. But yeah, here's some stuff from Empyrean. A guard on a tower in a remote rebel base in the wastelands. People coming in on hover bikes. He's taking a look at them. This is I didn't color this. This is my colorist that I've hired, and they're matching my style. I colored like the first 40 pages of the book. Then I realized that if I did this and Tyrus and Tripoli and Dean Cain and Jericho Green, it would be a while to get these things done. So thank you guys for supporting me, because now I with the crowdfunding, because now I hire people, creating jobs, as they say. So that's it's going quite well.
Little economy going on there.
Yeah, I'm a kingpin, comic book kingpin. Do you know how many women you get when you're in comics, dude?
I imagine a lot.
At least one.
You're guaranteed to snag at least one. And man, that's all you can hope for. That's enough.
Cartoonists coming through. Out of the way, scum.
Yeah. Well, hey, somebody clear
on the sidewalk.
Somebody clear these panties out of my pathway so I don't trip them off.
Jeez.
Yep.
Let's see.
Well, one is enough.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's check on the chat real quick, because I was ignoring it while I was drawing. Sorry, guys. Alpha Proto is grandma's from she's Creole. He's from Tejas. Okay, cool. Let's see. What part? Oh, that's a private conversation. Let's see. Free meat Smithies. I have any idea what that means.
Smoothies?
I don't know. The horror one. You guys done a Rocky stream? I think we did the first Rocky movie, right? Have we done 1, 2, 3, 4? I don't know. We should do it.
I don't think so.
We can just do it again anyway. We can do anything.
Speaking of movies, the selection for next week, I've been going back and forth. It's like Archie Manning. You have two sons that play a sport on two different teams. So you wear like the split jersey, because you love them both equally and you can't choose. So these two movies that I've narrowed it down to, they are both just exquisitely horrible in their own right, in their own way. I mean, just fucking terrible. But I think I know which one I'm going to pick. I'll let you know by the end of the stream, but just know that it's up there and probably worse than Bulletproof Monk. It's bad.
It's a lot to think of there.
On every level. You know how if a really good movie, the attention to detail is amazing, you know, where they just these little things and thinking of those little things to make that experience better. Well, this movie is like somebody found those little things and did them fucked up on purpose. It is so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we should do Rocky though. I like that. I like him reminding me of that because I think we did the first one, but we could do 2 and 3 and 4 is great because 4 doesn't have a story. 4 is just like he killed Apollo. Now I'll go to Russia and defeat him. Like that's the whole story, but it's still awesome.
But I haven't seen that movie probably since it came out, or maybe a couple of years after it came out. Yeah, and I don't think I've ever watched Rocky 5 all the way through. That's the one with Tommy Gunn, who died of AIDS, R.I.P.
Really?
Yeah, but Rocky 3, to me, that's the best one. Clubber Lang, that's the best Rocky.
It's awesome. Yeah. The horror one, Gabe, do you think the Padres, the Fathers, will be successful this year? I think for a team that didn't have a lot of money the last 9 threes in person, the Dodgers are going to keep winning. They have unlimited money. There's no salary cap in baseball. The Dodgers just sign everyone. Every day they're signing a new bajillion-dollar contract with the Dodgers. So whatever.
Bastards.
It's lame.
Bastards. But if you can get in the dance, you can take them. If you can get in the playoffs, man, you can take them.
Can we do Mrs. Doubtfire? I've never seen that. The cross-dressing Robin Williams.
It's a great movie. I watched it with my kids. They love it. It's a wholesome, good, hilarious movie.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Great movie.
Lucas Latterly, as you're going against the show here, Lucas. We love Lost Boys on this channel.
What?
Lost Boys was horrible. Just watch it again. What are you talking about? I love it.
It's great.
I went in November for my wedding anniversary. I went to Monterey and Santa Cruz and all that with my wife. And I went to the filming locations of Lost Boys. I went to the comic book store. I went to the movie that the mom and the dad, and the comic book store doesn't exist. It's an empty lot now. It was damaged in the 1989 Bay Area earthquake, and they never rebuilt it after they condemned it and knocked it down. So there's literally just grass and a fence between 2 other buildings. So the comic book store is gone. So.
Yeah, that movie's amazing. That's a classic.
Greatest president of my lifetime. Has anybody actually been deported yet? So glad. Yeah. The border encounters were like 10 to 12,000 a day. They're down to like 700 today.
Yeah, like 736 or something like that.
So, and there's, I showed earlier in the show, Jericho, there is Border Patrol now here in San Diego County on the 8 freeway. They're putting people out in Jacumba and out in the desert. I read on Twitter, I don't know the facts of this, that 2 people attacked hikers here this afternoon. That seemed to be Mexican nationals. One guy got shot in the leg, but I guess they were going to be robbed or something. And then this is all alleged. I read it on Twitter, but many sources are reporting it. And then the hikers were saved by some border sort of security force. I don't know what it was. And the attackers, I guess, went back into Mexico or whatever. But I've driven between here and Arizona, and there's not a lot of border wall all the time. Sometimes it's just hills. It's just hills. If you feel like hiking the desert, you can just do it, So where I live here in San Diego, I live like 20 miles from Tijuana, the San Isidro crossing. That's the busiest border crossing in the world. It is. I didn't know that. More people cross that every day than any other border in the world. So thank God I got my Century Pass, so I don't have to wait in the line.
Yeah.
Goodness.
But yeah, he's the executive orders that he signed, the things that he was saying,
just awesome.
And the TDS is so bad that even though he's saying great things that are going to help everybody, they can't admit it. I mean, behind closed doors, I'm sure they will. But, on their platforms and shit like that, they won't. But there's nothing wrong with what he said. He said he wants to be a peacemaker and a unifier. That sounds awesome. He's going. Well,
I'm happy with everything he's done so far. The executive orders and all that. The freeing the J6 people is amazing. Because we all know what that was. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And, and it's just like, what a disgrace the Biden administration was. That is the worst presidency that I can think of. In the
and then those preemptive pardons that he signed, when Trump didn't even do it, but there were rumors that he was going to do it back in 2018, and they were saying, oh,
Yeah.
if you preemptive pardon, that's an admission of guilt. Why
Well,
would
did you
need
see
it
what
if you
Trump
didn't do
said
anything
today?
wrong?
There was an interview clip I saw today where Trump was talking about, yeah, Biden signed all these pardons, blah, blah, blah. But Trump goes,
He
but
didn't pardon
strangely, he
himself.
didn't pardon himself.
Yeah. Maybe he's going to fall on the sword and take all the heat
I
for
mean,
his
he is like
family.
80 something years old. So maybe
Yeah,
he's like,
I'm out of here in 20 minutes. I don't give a shit.
I mean, he sits in his room and eats pudding all day anyway. What's the difference doing it in the White House or in a prison? So
yeah, he just eats butterscotch pudding and shits his pants. So put him in front of a TV with like some
it
Perry
looks the
Mason
same
around.
going in and coming out.
Yeah, you can't tell. Sometimes they get confused when they feed him his shit and he just eats it.
Yeah, Heather says the head of the Proud Boys got out and he's going to go on Crown. Awesome. That Enrique Tarrio, he wasn't even there in Washington, D.C. And he got what they say 22 years.
Was like some Rico shit. Like he's a crime boss. He sent his boys there.
Yeah. Well, what's that old saying? Like, show me the man and I can show you the conviction, right? Like they say lawyers always say you can indict a ham sandwich, dude. Like if people want to abuse the law against you, and I'm not saying they did, YouTube, but if they want to, people have in the past.
Yeah, if you're as
another
powerful
says he
as
was
they
in
are,
Baltimore, chilling with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
Yeah, because they're at home right now. But even you have somebody like that 22 years, like he wasn't even there. You can't be responsible for what other people do, but to preemptively, and all the pardons before, there have been presidents who pardoned their family members, but their family members that either committed a crime or served prison time for it. The ones that he gave out, they're preemptive, like, oh, well, just in case Trump goes after him. Okay, even if he did, if they did nothing wrong and everything was by the book, like, why would you pardon Liz Cheney in the January 6th committee and the cop who shot Ashley Babbitt? Why would you pardon those people? Why would you pardon your brother and his wife and all this weird shit?
They gave Fauci that pardon.
Yeah, that little piece of shit.
Which is infuriating. But I have a friend. He's a big fan. He loves the Dean Cain comics. He loves my buddies. Remember the Friday Night Tights guys and all those friends of mine I introduced you to in Vegas and all that. And this is him here. He was a soldier. He took the vax, and now he's in a wheelchair and all fucked up, this poor guy. Healthy as a horse just a few years ago.
Yeah.
Took the vax, and then I don't know if the vax is what hurt him or not, YouTube. Coincidentally, right after he took it, he got real sick and became disabled. Coincidentally. It just, the timing seemed to line up, YouTube. We don't think it was the vax. It's just a coincidence. It's crazy.
That's so terrible, man.
So,
and to think you're doing the right thing, like it wasn't an accident, it wasn't an IED, it was a simple procedure, and you thought you were doing the right thing for whatever reason, and then to just have that happen, that's fucking terrible, man.
No, this guy's a good dude. I like him a lot, and I feel so bad for him, dude. He's young, he was healthy as a horse, and that's how he is now, in the wheelchair.
Well, I hope there's some compensation for him. Trump did mention that he announced that he's reinstating all the servicemen and women who were kicked out for not taking the poke, and they're getting
with
full back pay. Full back pay. That's some money. That's been what, like 4 or 5 years? Shit, that check's gonna be nice.
The horror one, Gabe, are you ever going to Rumble? I have a Rumble account and I've uploaded like 3 videos there. I just forget it exists. I feel like Rumble's interface was designed by a drunk person from another planet. It's the ugliest, most unintuitive interface. And you might not think that's a big deal, but it really bothers me and it makes me not want to use Rumble. I don't know. So I'm focusing on YouTube. I'm doing 4 uploads a week now, Tuesday through Friday. My 8-minute, rant or making some sort of point. Trying to give you guys my expert opinions on things in pop culture and art and media and all that, politics. And I'm just trying to get my YouTube here to 10,000. Rumble, sure, we'll do it in the future. Why not? It's free and it's publicity and it's a good way to get the word out. So eventually I'll do that, but one thing at a time. I've changed some stuff in my business for the better. I have help now with my YouTube. I have a person doing social media posts and doing, like, when you see something typed, that's still me. Like if it's like words coming out of my mouth, like that's me. But posting art, posting videos, I have someone helping me now. Because as Jericho knows, as a full-time YouTuber, that's a job. That's like full-time, editing videos, posting them and all that. And I have someone helping me now. And drawing comic books is a more than full-time profession. It is not 8 hours a day. It is much more than 8 hours a day to write and draw comic books. So you can't serve two masters. So now that I have someone helping me full time with that, we're going to get this channel 10,000 and just keep growing from there. So it's going to be awesome.
True that. Yeah, there's no, because you can't put a time limit on creativity, whether it's art or,
Right.
you know, what I do or something like that. It's just, you know, you have to do what you have to do to deliver your product the best way possible. And if that means editing clips and blah, 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 and reading articles and all that stuff, you know. That's what you do.
No, I have, like I said, I have a person, they get me different news stories about video games, art, entertainment, whatever. They send me artwork. They help me with the thumbnails. They post it. They schedule all that good stuff. And again, it's too much when you're drawing comic books all day and writing them. It's just too much. There's just no way to do it. That's why Eric July stepped back from like streaming all the time and all that. And, but I'll show you a funny one. Remember that fantasy, like Lord of the Rings game that I showed you, Jericho, Dragon Age Veilguard? And you could be a transgender in it, and all the characters were ugly and weird and all that.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
It was a few months back. I showed it to you, and there was huge hullabaloo and controversy online of all the woke people yelling at the people saying, don't do this, don't ruin art, because this is a sequel video game.
Mm-hmm.
And the game comes out, and all the left-wing news video game websites like Kotaku and Game Pro or whatever these the biggest news reporting sites for video games, they all shield for it. It's the greatest game ever, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, blah, blah. And they wouldn't release the sales figures or the numbers or anything like that. Drum roll, please. Electronic Arts blames underperformance of Dragon Age and EA, would that be fiscal, whatever, 25, as it lowers forecast. So the head of that studio, who was woke and a trans person themselves, so that's probably why there were trans characters in the game. Everything was ugly in the game. And this is like a hit game from like 10 years ago. Like the prequels to this were hit games. Huge fan base. This thing failed. The rumor is it sold like 1 million copies. The financial analyst, it needed to sell like 10.5 million copies to make what they wanted financially for the investors. It sold like 1 million copies. It turned everyone off. Because it was woke, it was DEI, there were pronouns, just all the junior college sociology shit was in this. It didn't sell anything. The head of that studio quit, but, you know, probably was fired and told to leave. And that studio now, probably dozens, hundreds of jobs, closing. So there you go.
See?
So
you can't use these forms of entertainment to work out your demons. Or to, I'm going to put someone that looks like me. They don't want to see that shit. Unless you're a hot chick with a small waist and big tits, the comic books readers, especially for something like this, some fantasy shit like that,
right?
They don't want to fucking see it. You know what they want to see, so just keep giving it to them. As long as you want to keep cashing those checks, keep giving them what they want. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are to recreate the wheel when it comes to shit like this? Just step in. You're the CEO now or whatever. Step in, fill the shoes, keep giving them what they want. And when it's your turn to retire, get your golden
watch. You imagine, Jericho,
out of there.
Taking over Disney or taking over something that has been rolling for 100 years. You don't have to do anything. This machine works on its own and just prints money. Mickey Mouse, Star Wars, all these things. And then you're like, you know what? What if I fucking changed everything that's working?
What if I changed everything?
I just
grind it all to a
everything,
halt.
You know,
grind it to a financial halt. And you know what? If I were the CEO of Disney or one of these companies that just like Coca-Cola or McDonald's, you don't got to do shit. It's already running. You already know what to do. I would show up my first day taking over the company. I'd have fucking sunglasses on and a car waiting outside. Hey, you guys are doing great.
You wouldn't even be wearing shoes.
You guys are doing great. Keep it up. I'll be in fucking Barbados or some shit. Let me know if you need me. I'm out. And there would be fucking sand like coming out of my cuffed jeans. Are you kidding me? The fuck out of here. You guys got this.
Can you imagine how much money you wouldn't even be able to count the amount of money you had if you owned Star Wars.
Dude, I'm off
you wouldn't be able to count the money.
I'm off to shake hands and hang out with Jeff Bezos and shit like that. Get caught in the summertime, in the cover of People magazine. Oh, CEO of Disney is, splashing in the waters of Caicos, whatever the fuck. Like, what are you doing?
I'm gonna
get in here.
Yeah. You'd be in the tabloids just spotted with young starlets and stuff. They wouldn't be reporting on your company going bankrupt and closing studios.
Come on. Get the fuck out of the way. There's a train coming down the tracks loaded with cash. Get out of the way and let it make its way into your bank account. Are you kidding me? Come on, fucking.
Yeah, I remember
there at
people were when this game was announced and they showed all kinds of stuff. You could create your own character, right? Like, oh, I want to be a knight, or I want to be an elf, or I want to be this or that. But then you can do breast removal trans scars. I'm not kidding.
Ooh, what? Who would want to do that in a video game?
I don't know.
Who would want to do that?
What does that have to do with killing a dragon?
The characters should just get more cool. That's all. More cool, more, cool looking, and maybe someone wearing all black. And you know what the fuck to do? Just do that. What tit removal scars? What the? What are we doing? Are we still playing video games? What is this?
I don't know. I think it's mental illness being displayed for all of us to have to deal with it.
But they don't deserve that bullhorn. Like, they deserve some help. Or if you are a Ku Klux trans members, I like to call them, but you're an artist or whatever, cool. Come into the company and work, but you have to follow along with our vision for this company. Bring your talents, not your ideology. Just bring your talents and draw the shit we want you to draw, and program or whatever the fuck you do. Just do that, and then all that other crazy shit, put it on your Twitter account or your personal Instagram. Like, go nuts. But here, it's Sony Games or whatever the fuck. I just need you to make really cool shit so I can keep my mistresses happy.
I said this earlier. I don't judge people by their mistakes. I judge by the reaction to the mistake. You do something dumb, fucked up, but then you correct course and you learn and you get better. That's huge. That's life for all of us. None of us are perfect. We're going to mess up. But there's something about the leftists, the Trump deranged leftists. It's like they can't learn. These video games, these movies, this stuff, it all fails and fails and fails, and they just double and triple and quadruple down. Their companies go out of business. They're laying off staff, they're cutting wages, they're reducing everything, and they can't go, oh, maybe I'm doing something wrong. And I saw this picture of Elon yesterday when he did it. My heart goes out to you guys or whatever. I love you guys. And then AOC tweeted that's a Nazi salute. And if you look at the comments, it's oh, there is a vibe shift. Everyone's telling her to fuck off. You're not doing this anymore, you dumb bitch. Don't you know we don't do this cancel shit anymore? And just laughing at her. And it's wow. Everyone coming with the woke cancel shit is just getting their faces chewed off. And I am glad to see it. It's time to I heard Adam Carolla once say, always have a fuck you chambered, Just have one ready to go.
This willful ignorance is my bless you. All right. That's what I look at. And I'm just what the fuck? Damn good and well that Elon Musk didn't get up there and do no fucking Nazi salute. That. Even if he did, by saying he did that, you're assuming that if we support Trump, that we're okay with that. We're going to let that shit ride. That's ridiculous.
It doesn't work anymore.
But he didn't do that. But that's all they have left is willful ignorance. And it infuriates me because that's not what he did. It. And
or
not to
is
mention,
it? Maybe they're all Nazis.
Look, they're doing it. His hands even kind of up. Their hands straight out, they've been doing this shit for a while. But Elon Musk, he has Asperger's syndrome. He's not, a normal, quote unquote, normal person. His brain functions in a different way. He's socially awkward. You can tell by the way when he came out on stage, he's just socially awkward. His movements, his gestures are off a little bit. That's just the way he is.
Right.
But to be honest, if you want to get technical about it, he's special needs. So why are you guys shitting all over this special needs dude?
Right.
Just because his face doesn't look a certain way or his body's not disfigured in some way, he's not special needs. That's fucked up. And it. Look at it. Look at the whole clip. Jon Stewart, you piece of shit. Don't just show the part where he does that. Show the lead up to it when he comes out on stage and the way he is. But this is what
Colbert and Jon Stewart and all those guys have done is they package their lives with laughs, and the laughs are entertaining, and then it brainwashes people. One, I don't believe Elon was doing any sort of salute, but one I'm very concerned about, the Big Blue Boy Scout. Is he part of the Nazi regime? Look at him.
Finally. Now that's
not only is he doing the salute, he's flying over the entire city so everyone can see it.
He's giving everybody the sig. Heil. That's
this is fucking in your face the way Superman
it has been for years, and I'm glad you called it out. I'm glad you
Yeah.
were brave enough to call it out and speak your truth that Superman is a Nazi.
Look at that. Look at that.
Superman's a
Just
Nazi.
flying over the whole city. What are you going to do? What are you going to do about it?
Well, if you squint and look up and down 3 times and turn around and do a backflip and look at that S on his chest, that's a swastika. Like, are we being honest?
It could be an S, and that's short for SS.
Yes, and it stands for swastika. That's what that
Right.
S
It's
is
S for swastika. That's right.
Look at the boots he's wearing. Very, goose steppy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. See? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he
my boots
he
for
came
goose
from-
stepping. Would you
he
like to
came-
goose step with me?
He chose justice and the master race. And he came from a land far away.
All the way to the book burning ceremonies. I'll use
That's
my
it.
laser heat vision to start the book burning.
Start the fire. That he came from a land far away. Germany's far away from here. Same thing.
Yeah, it's almost identical. This is how stupid the Elon Nazi thing sounds to me.
Let's be honest, it is identical. We're like, is this like a safe space? But
Yeah.
it's so dumb. That's not what he fucking did. He's not stupid. He's not gonna get, and then like, you elected us. Now I'm gonna show you I'm a Nazi, and there's nothing you can do about it. Fucking kidding me? That he has Asperger's. That's why he's a genius. That's why he said what did he say? His mind is an endless explosion of ideas.
But we could be wrong. Maybe Elon is, maybe Superman is, because look at this. Journalists horrified as village people perform double Hitler salute.
Now that's rare. That's rare. That's like the 29th day in February.
Look at that.
It's
like January 6th all over again, Jericho.
That's what I felt.
J6 all over again.
When I saw that rippled through. That went through my body.
Look at
like
Trump cheering on the double Heil.
They're not showing it. Trump's about to do a double Sig Heil.
He's winding up for it. His hands
were still clenched, but he was like, because if you do, this is why I love this podcast, because we dig deep and we read the fine print. I'll send you a link to the article, but if you do a double Sig Heil in front of Trump, he has to reciprocate. He cannot not do it. So that's him. Like you said, he's loading up. He's charging up like Godzilla when that blue light and shit.
Yeah.
He's charging up to throw the double. He can't not do it. It's in the secret society that he's in.
Yeah. Now he used to be able to just do it like faster, but he's old now. He's like 78.
Slow it down.
Charge up more.
Hey, Father Time's undefeated. I don't begrudge him that.
Right.
But he's very calculated. He's very evil, and that dude right there. That's why he hired him. He said, I want the group that does the double Sig Heil. He said, well, sir, that's going to be the village people. He said, bring it. And then that's him loading up to do his, because he can't help it. And you know what else I hate? And I'm not saying I would put these people in camps if I ruled America. But what I'm saying is, when they say Trump's going to do this and he's going to do that in his second presidency, when he did none of it, absolutely fucking none of it, the first time he was president.
Now, I'm starting to believe AOC, though, about maybe Elon is spreading this around, because if you go to Marvel Comics, they had a character in the 70s called Rom, the 70s, they called Rom, the Space Knight.
No,
it just gets worse, Jericho. It just gets worse.
Don't you dare.
Look at what he's doing.
That's multiple.
Look at that.
That's all the way down the line. It's getting all tiny. Little Sig Heils all the way down. I'm offended. I don't know about you.
This is like January 6th. I'm telling you, it's traumatic.
This is a little bit worse.
This is like January 7th.
January 12th. Double January 6th. This is way fucked up.
I don't think you should meet AOC or any of these leftist idiots with anger. Meet them with derision and humiliation, because they're all insecure egomaniacs. Just humiliate them. And I don't want to hear any shit from anyone who's not on the left woke. All my friends that are, you don't have to be Republican, but whatever. If you're anti-woke, you're with me and you're against this shit, I don't want to hear, it's time to come together and unity.
No.
These people, their ideology, their will to do this commie shit has to be broken over our knee.
Mhm.
Metaphorically, YouTube, never calling for any violence. Metaphorically, their will has to be destroyed.
Yes.
They have to understand to never do this shit again, that we won't put up with a second of it ever again.
Yeah, they can't escape. It's like, oh man, I can't remember what movie it was, but this evil thing had been destroyed, and it was like broken. It like blew up into pieces, and some of the pieces were trying to slither away into the darkness, but they like stepped on them or stabbed them and crushed them. They couldn't let them slither off into the darkness and then regroup and rebuild and then come back as another threat. Same with the left and these psycho assholes who are, if you voted for Trump, I'm gonna talk to you and fuck you and you're a Nazi. Verbally, they need to be held accountable. They can't be allowed to slither back into the shadows. No, bring your ass out here in the light, because for the past 4 years, we've had to take your shit. You've been pushing this nonsense, and it's over. I'm so glad that Trump said there's two genders, and why we are clapping for basic shit, common sense stuff that we know. We know there's two genders, you asshole. We know that our border needs to be closed. We know that we need to fucking get more fuel so it can be cheaper. Supply and demand drill right now. We know that shit.
I'm
And
just
then for him to say, real quick, for him to say that he's going to seal the border and keep us safe and crime's going to go down, and for Sloppy Joe and Kamala, for that bitch to sit there, they didn't even clap. You can't even clap for the safety of America.
I'm so glad he shit all over their faces and they had to sit there and take it when he did the
Sure
inaugural
did.
Speech.
Sure
They just
did.
had to take it right in the mouth. They just took it, and it was nice. One of my biggest things is the border, because of where I live. Like I said, I live like
Right
20
there.
miles from Tijuana. This is the nexus of illegal immigration. And I've told you guys many times, I've never tried drugs. I'm not a drug guy. I don't even drink. But to hear I don't judge the people who like take the fentanyl and die. My heart breaks for them. I don't do drugs, but I understand people do it. They want to party. They want to have fun. I think it's bad. I think you shouldn't do it, but I get it. People are young and stupid. I did young and stupid things when I was young and, stupid.
Yeah.
Didn't do drugs, thankfully. But when I hear about an 18, a 19-year-old lose their life from fentanyl, I want to say it's not fair, but that's not the right way to say it. But it's such a, what the fuck, dude? And for him, and it's like over 100,000 getting that shit, and it's coming right through the border here. Thank God. When you live here and you drive to LA, here in San Diego, you drive to Vegas, there are these huge, like 10-lane drive-through things on the freeway. On the way to Vegas, there's one. On the way up to LA, there's like two. And they're border patrol checkpoints, and they're also agricultural checkpoints. And they ask you, have you brought any fruit or anything from Mexico? Don't bring it here, because the San Joaquin Valley, if you bring fruit that has bugs or something that are not native here, you could like cause a real problem with the food. So they do an agricultural inspection, but they're also doing like, hey, are you an American? Let me see your driver's license, this and that. For years now, they're not staffed. We just drive. You have to stop and get in line my whole life here in California. But you just, they shouldn't even exist now. You just drive right through them nowadays. And for a couple of years, it's been that way. That's intentional by that Mayorkas and Biden, the border czar Biden. And, she guards the border like I can't even finish that sentence here, but you know what I was going to say. But she guards the border like she guarded other things in her life. So, everybody got through is my point.
Yep.
And I would drive to Vegas and drive to LA, and we would never stop. And I was like, oh, it's closed today. It's closed today. About the 10th time, I'm like, what the fuck? This thing's never, like, I'm glad I don't have to stop. And then I realized, oh shit, this is what Biden is doing. So.
Come on in.
Yep. Old Renaissance boomers here. Imagine how much greenhouse gases could be reduced if we just got see the shutter pile.
Oh man, that's a tall order, man. That's a tall order.
Mr. Reese.
Her and her ginger fiance she's been engaged to for like 2 or 3 years.
Because she hates white men, but then those women that always hate white men, they always marry one.
Good, and some of the dudes on the left who hate white men always married to like Don Lemon and shit. So wait a minute, these are the most dangerous people in the country, right. and you're backing your ass up against one? Oh, okay.
I guess.
Okie dokie. Another wildfire in LA, just so you know.
I don't know. I'm just this week. When he was sworn in, I was happy about it, but I mostly felt like, okay, Trump, get him now. Go get him. And I'm happy with what he's doing so far. There's stuff going on everywhere. Like I said, there's Border Patrol people to the desert in the east here. There are Border Patrol people like 40 miles north here up in Temecula, which is a major city between like here and Los Angeles. It's a major city in north of San Diego County. And it's just good to see like, okay, the Border Patrol's out in force. Good. And it's like, you can come here, do it the right way. My family did. My dad did. My mom's side had been here for hundreds of years, but my dad did. He came here the right way. So do it. Matthew Mars and his son Cameron, they changed it from 4 years now to 9 more years for that kid to wait to come here.
Damn.
So what the hell's that, dude?
Yeah,
Cameron's in his early 20s. So what? He's going to be like 30 or something when he gets here finally to live by his family. He might get married in Europe and stay there and blah, blah, blah. Family never be together. It's horrible.
Yeah. That's bullshit.
But if he just came to the southern border and claimed asylum or whatever.
Come on. What are you doing over there? Right. Get over here. Come here, you. And speaking of AOC, I hope Trump goes after her because she called him a rapist.
I saw that.
That is really stupid, and I hope her legal team or her legal rep got in touch with her. Like, that's really stupid. Didn't you see what happened to ABC? And they didn't even come out and say it like that. They insinuated it, but she straight up said it. So I hope he sues the shit out of her. You can't. Don't be reckless with your tongue anymore.
All those lawsuits, the shot in the ear, the other guy at the golf course that was trying to get him, everything that has happened to this guy that's been bullshit, the phony impeachments, the COVID,
all of it.
There is no way in my mind he would have any mercy on them at all at this point. Why would he? He got shot in the ear. He's got nothing to lose now. He's on not borrowed time, but like gifted time, like a second chance at life, So
he's already looked into his children's eyes and his wife's eyes, thinking he could have been dead.
Right.
He's already seen that fear in their eyes, and he's already consoled them, and Barron probably crying, like a little kid again because he thought his dad was going to die. So he's already done that. So, you've put his family through that. So you're going to pay. And to be honest, as long as he can maintain keeping us first and foremost in his policies and his agenda and our international policy and all that, and you can, kind of bend these people over the knee and spank their ass and make sure they don't do these things again, hey, I'm all for it. And I don't think that's a problem. I mean, Trump, he's up at 4 o'clock in the morning going 16, 18, 20 hours a day.
He's just running around 12 Diet Cokes.
Dude, 12 Diet Cokes and McDonald's. Maybe I need to start rethinking fast food. I don't know, because this dude is fucking out of control.
I'm a Diet Coke fan. I'm a Diet Coke fan. I love it.
I saw a guy who was eating like presidents for a day, and Trump drinks a lot of fucking Diet Coke.
I look at Diet Coke this way. It's been around 40 years. People are not dying from drinking of it. So drinking it. They're not dying. So it's safe. We would know in 40 years. We would know. That's a long enough test to know if this shit was deadly.
Hey, well, he might be keeping Diet Coke afloat himself. He drinks a lot of it.
Well, me and him. You know what? I prefer it over like a regular soda. I can't drink regular soda now. I've drank Diet for so long that regular soda grosses me out. It's like pancake syrup to me. It's so sweet now.
Yeah.
It's just it's too much.
But Trump, he's I like this more subdued, more calculated, calm Trump. We really haven't seen that wild Trump that we saw in a good way from his first term. We just, and I think it was that assassination attempt. I think that's what did it. I think that's what focused him, not changed him or dulled him at all, but I think it focused him. It realigned everything. It let him know what's important, family, relationships, because it could have all been lost. So he's refocused, and I love it, and we're all going to benefit from it. Even these little leftist commie pinko pieces of shit who are going to ignore facts that are clearly in their face, like the salute and all that kind of shit. It's just infuriating that at this point they're ignoring it on purpose. You can't be that fucking blind. You can't be. But
we hear all the business coming here now, hundreds of billions, over $1 trillion in funding in the first week from outside countries and businesses. I think Samsung is moving a plant from Mexico to here. and another car manufacturer's moving from Canada back to Detroit. Like I read 4 of them today. Thousands and thousands of jobs, hundreds of millions of dollars of business coming back. And it's like, yes, here's the thing about America. We're the biggest, most powerful nation in the history of the world. We could do anything to anyone. We could be the worst tyrannical bullies ever, but we don't. We're good. We're just in the world stage. But I do think it's time that the American middle class stop being sold out by our Congress and Senate and our politicians and flex the muscle on all the other countries and do it to our benefit. That's enough. Because we've been giving everything away to everyone else. $700 for the people in Maui, North Carolina, but then fucking Ukraine gets what, like $1 billion a minute or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, fuck that. America first means Americans first. That's what it means. You know?
Dude, I saw a video of this lady in Ukraine who made pierogies. This bitch is making dumplings, and we're paying for her business to stay open, for her to make dumplings.
Like retirements and pensions over there and all kinds of stuff. Americans here don't have some of that stuff. Some Americans.
Then it's infuriating, you piece of shit.
That would be like Jericho.
Dare
if you or I, fathers and husbands, took food, made it in our kitchen, and walked it across the street, and then told your wife and kids, I don't know, eat some crackers.
Good luck.
Like, what are you doing? Your people first. That isn't wrong. That isn't selfish. You're literally hired for your people. That's your job.
Yeah.
It's like, this is your organization, so you take care of it. It's, what do you mean you're taking care of somewhere else first? But we all know what it is. They send the money to Ukraine to build water fountains, right? We got to build 100,000 water fountains around the country. And then I say, okay, Jericho, we need that. And then you go, oh, you know, my brother builds water fountains. He should have the contract. So the money goes there, and then it goes right back to the politician's pocket.
Yeah.
You know, oh yeah, they need blah, blah, blah in Ukraine. Just so happens my cousin runs a company that does that.
Get out of here.
What are the chances?
Get out of here, man. What a coinky dink. And he's had businesses on the last 5 projects. That's awesome.
Right. Yeah, like Biden's brother, Jim or John Biden or whatever, he does construction. They build homes. So he was building homes all over like Iraq and different places like that. So our military goes in there, they blow up a bunch of shit, flatten all the houses, and then he builds them back. And we pay for it, huh? What kind of profits he making on that? Because I'm sure these relatives of politicians are charging fair market prices.
Of course.
They totally wouldn't be paying inflated prices when their brother or whatever's getting them the gig, right?
Yeah.
Of course not.
Or with the cost of everything, all building materials being up because of inflation. That doesn't matter. Those people in Iraq still need those houses.
Right.
So
and you got to pay for it, Jericho. So pay your fucking taxes.
We need to pay those exorbitant prices. But hey, you know what? That's one of the things we missed with Kamala not being elected president. She said she was going to stop price gouging. So we missed out on that. Damn it.
Yeah. Going to stop price gouging.
Thank you. It's like sloppy
Joe. Her, like the day after the inauguration, she was back in California, standing in front of a fire truck with her. I don't know what her husband's problem is, but everywhere she goes, he's like right behind her, like a pet, you know. And he just has this horrible look on his face, like he does not want. He want to be anywhere else.
Help me! Yeah, he'd rather be anywhere else, like with his nanny that he got pregnant. Yeah, I'm sure that there's no relationship, there's no love there. That's just all for looks. They probably go into the house together, and then there's like a tunnel for him to go to another house and pop up somewhere. They don't live together. They're not in love. Just like Obama and Michelle Obama. Like, fuck out of here. They're not in love. Michelle Obama looks like shit. Like what? That doesn't make any sense. That he's the one, except for H.W. Bush, where she's hella old. But he's like the first, or Hillary. But Hillary wasn't too bad. She's not as bad as Michelle Obama. Holy shit. But yeah, look how weird that. Look how Third
Could this guy be any fucking weirder?
No.
I'd never heard of Tim Walz. And then she announced him or whatever at their Democratic convention. And he came out on stage with all his jazz hands and his kicking. And I said, oh, that guy's a pervert. Like in my mind, I instantly said that and then that's all anyone said about him for weeks. That he was the last guy you would send to watch the Boy Scouts go camping up in the hills, you know.
You know what? Let's just cancel the trip. You know, we can't get into it. All we got is Tim.
Adam Carolla had this bit where on the Boy Scouts, the guy that you want to take the Cub Scouts up to Mount Pinos, he said, is the guy that doesn't want to. The guys whose hand shoots up first, he's not allowed to take them. The guy who's lying, the dad who's lying and making excuses of why he can't help, he's the one you send with the Cub Scouts.
Be like, hey, and thanks for putting your hand up so quick. Now we know to keep a fucking eye on you.
Right.
Thank you very much.
He was the goofiest, weirdest dude. He could not control his hands. It was always, yes, you. It was like Michael Scott from The Office.
Like,
but
fucking stop.
He could not stop with the weirdo hands. And then I saw one made me laugh so hard. They were at some stupid rally or whatever. And he was holding hands with Kamala and then Kamala's husband or whatever. And since his hands were held, he started kicking his legs because he couldn't do his jazz hands, but his fucking weirdness had to come out of him somewhere.
What a freak. Could you imagine that doofus?
Tickle fight Tim.
Not another spontaneous tickle fight.
I love that they just called him Tampon Tim. What a fucking disgrace.
Dude, what a dude. Could you imagine that fucking dork being our vice president?
Oh,
and instead we have JD Vance. Talk about dodging a pervert bullet. Come on, man. Please. Kamala Harris as president? Oh, get the fuck out of here. I saw, speaking of getting out of here, I saw a video today. Some guy walked up to Bryan Cranston, getting into his car, a very expensive looking car. And he goes, are you moving out of America now that Trump won? Because he said that he was going. He's like, Tom Hanks is moving. You going to go or are you going to stay and see how it plays out? And he didn't say anything. He just got in his car.
What is that?
Piece of shit.
And he's an amazing actor. I think Malcolm in the Middle is one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. And now when I look at him, I was like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah. Like, dude, be rich and all that and famous and live in your hills and go to your parties. Man, I don't give a shit. But don't talk to the country so bad that if he wins, you're going to leave and then you don't. Pussy.
Yeah, be a man.
You have the money? Why not? You have the money? Go. Get out of here. You have the means to go on anywhere you want on the planet, but you won't. You keep staying in this racist shithole. I don't get it.
And this was you're going to miss her, right? She was like your favorite, this one.
Their Steve Harvey suit. The shoulder pads. Are you going to do some drills with those shoulder pads, you little bastard? I call her Chocolate Patty. I can't stand her.
Yeah.
She was so terrible.
She's gone now.
Yeah, nobody's fucking moving. Even Ellen DeGeneres. Even that weird pervert. She moved to England and she was back. I just saw a picture of her back in, I don't know, the hills or wherever she lived, wherever rich perverts live in LA. Like, bitch, you couldn't even stay gone for 6 months. What happened? Oh, my God, Trump, I'm leaving. Go.
It's too good here. It's too good here. That's the truth.
But then why say it, though? Why
because
say
they're just naughty little ingrates who have to complain about what's for dinner. How about this? I bought you food and cooked it. Why don't you fucking say thanks instead of bitching all the time?
Yeah, there's plenty of it to fill your belly.
Right.
Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, Ellen DeGeneres, she's super famous. Her name was on the lips of many housewives in America. So why the need to get those eyes on you and say something sensational like, if he wins, I'm going to go. And then you go for like a month and you come back.
What about this one? Did you see this lady?
I'm going to rip her apart. I'm going to do a video on it. But yeah, this here is blood boiling.
Yeah, I thought it was real interesting that she did that because let me see. I'll find this thing here. Well, but I mean, I thought first of all, in the serious thing, wow, you don't do that in church. Like, what's your problem?
Dude, she was like, Mr. President, I have one last plea for like, it's not an 8-year-old boy. You don't fucking chastise him like that. And then afterwards, they were like, what do you think of the service? He's like, what'd you think? He's like, I thought it was boring, uninspirational. Should have done better. And then he demands an apology from her. That's ridiculous. You're chastising him. Number one, like he's a child. Number two, on some bullshit. Oh, they were gay and lesbian kids who are scared right now.
I wrote this on Twitter. Silence, heretic woman. 1 Timothy 2:11 and 12. Let a woman learn quietly with all submissiveness. I do not permit a woman to teach or to exercise authority over man. Rather, she is to remain quiet. So the Bible she claims to believe and preach tells her she's not allowed to be a preacher. Silence, heretic.
Yeah, and that's so weird. Like to see a female is that she a bishop?
Someone
I
said
grew up.
Mexican word of the day. Someone tell this, what did it say? Someone shut this bishop.
Dude, I grew up going to church my whole life, man. I never saw a female preacher ever or priest. That's just weird. And it shouldn't be. I don't care what that sounds like, sexist,
It says in the Bible in Timothy that it's not supposed to be. So
like,
if that's your religion, you
that's
choose
ridiculous.
to believe it. The Bible is not a buffet. You don't get to pick what you believe. Now you're making up your own religion.
Yeah.
You know?
And the same thing with having gay priests and preachers and stuff. Like, you can't do that because your instruction manual strictly prohibits that. So you can't do that. Just like you said, you can't take part in that and then take what you want out of it and make shit up. It says don't do that. So you can't do that. And you're a clergy? How is that? You can't do that.
Right.
It's an instructional manual on what you're supposed to do. So if you claim to be in this religion, then you have to follow the instruction manual. The fuck, dude? That's so ridiculous. But the fact that she's a female bishop is just fucking ridiculous. But it was funny when she was saying that, or when she started about the LGBTQ kids who are scared. Scared of what? Should be scared of your parents who let that happen to you. But she starts saying that, and then you see JD Vance turn over and look at his wife. And we've all looked at our wife like that. But his wife, she didn't look at him. She kept, acting like she was paying attention, which is fine. But that's the point where you look at each other and go, what the fuck is this?
Right.
That's how he looked at his wife. Like, this is ridiculous bullshit. And it was. And, like, who do you think you are to speak to him like that and espouse such lies, such bullshit? They're scared. They're being harmed. Who? You mean people just like them who are harming them? Because there's statistics and shit that say you're more likely to get your ass kicked by your partner than anybody else. Did he really do that, or is that fucking AI?
No, it's real. They were cutting the cake. He had 3 balls that night, like 3 different balls he attended. And one of them, there's a giant cake. You can kind of see it behind this meme here. There's a giant cake, and they took the swords from the Marines and were cutting the cake. So this is real. This is your president.
We would all do that.
Heather says she has a female pastor. Her husband died. She took over. Well, I mean, it's your choice to go to church. I wouldn't go, but you're free to do what you want. I do believe one thing I don't believe in at all is censorship and canceling and all that. Let things sort themselves out. Because as much as I hate those woke video games and movies and comics, you're not seeing me say, oh, DC Comics needs to be stopped and put out of business. Like, no, they'll put themselves out of business. The garbage has a way of taking itself out. I don't believe in censorship. Obviously, illegal things have to be censored that are illegal. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention it here on the air. And it should be illegal, those sort of very few things that are illegal to say and show. But no, I believe in liberty. I really do. And it'll sort itself out. It really will. So they politicize the National Cathedral. I think it's despicable. Absolutely. And just, get ready. It'll be 4 years of fake news attacks on Trump, but it doesn't work this time. The vibe shift happened. We all consider the news a joke. Like, so many people are finally awake. You find the people like, he called Nazis and white supremacists good people. He said to inject bleach. You just laugh at those people now. Like, wow, you still believe that shit. That's amazing. So.
It's hard to.
It's like,
those little bastards are so... Oh man, you're like, dude, how could you be so damn stupid?
I remember I had a relative with like Trump derangement syndrome. Like he said Nazis and white supremacists were good people. I said, no, he didn't. He said there were good people on both sides. In a crowd of thousands and thousands, there'll be good people on both sides and bad people on both sides. Like, what are you talking about? Yep. I said, and not only that, he condemned them like 30 seconds later in that same speech. No, he didn't. That was the next day after they caught him. I started playing the video on YouTube. This person started freaking out and screaming, turn it off. I don't want to hear his fucking voice. And blah, 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 like ran out of the room. Like, what is wrong with you?
God. So childish.
Crazy.
So petulant.
People also wear masks alone in their car. Do you think there are weirdos? Like the guy that wears a mask alone, does he wear like a condom when he's by himself?
He's hoping. He's a hope. Maybe if I put one on, he's manifesting. Maybe if I put out in the universe, I'll get to use this thing. But it's
like, I got bad news for you, buddy. You show up like that, everybody's gonna run.
That thing's gonna be collecting dust. But with the mask alone, that whole time, which is so strange and what a weird,
It
murky
doesn't seem
part.
real now, man.
Doesn't. It's insane. But when you have people like that who are wearing the mask by themselves in the car, that was a form of power. They were on their pedestal. They were up on their
I'm
soapbox.
better
That
than
mask was
you.
just exactly. I'm
Look at
triple
you.
vax. I got my boosters. I got
Look
my
at you
mask,
killing
my
grandma
gloves.
over there.
Yeah, I'm wiping down my groceries before I take them in the house. It was a way for them to levitate and float above us mere mortals who still had to use our feet to get around.
I'm not against people getting shots, wearing masks and all that, but it has to be a personal choice. You cannot force things on others.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, you want to go to a church with the lady pastor, that's on you. It's not my business. I don't believe in it, but if you want to do it, do it. You want to get a shot? Okay, talk to your doctor, I guess. I'm going to make my choice. But the authoritarian shit that came in,
Yep.
man, the masks came off, and you saw the people that would do anything for themselves and fuck over other people. I remember when I was 7 years old, I was learning about lifeguarding. I was taking swimming lessons, and they were teaching us, to throw the people the floating ring and to do the things. They said, if you swim up to someone and grab them, they will drown the fucking both of you because they're panicking and they're going to climb on you like you're a rock or you're something, and they're going to drown the two of you. And I feel like in COVID, that's what like the freak out authoritarian people were doing. They were like they would do anything to you for them to feel safe. And they didn't care if you lost your job, you went to jail. People who don't blah, blah, blah should have their kids taken. They should lose their job. They shouldn't be allowed. Well, if they do get sick, they should just have to die in the street. They don't get a hospital bed. Remember that?
Yeah,
People
they were saying that
kind of shit. It's insane.
The mainstream media.
Painful.
Yep. Sloppy Joe got on TV and said, this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. It's going to be a winter of death. You see that seat right there that's empty. You killed grandma. Like, what the dude, that was
meanwhile they made
time.
people say goodbye to loved ones on FaceTime on their iPhones, and they couldn't even go to the fucking hospital.
Yeah.
I went to a funeral during COVID, and we had it outside so people could be there. But one of my buddy Merlin, his grandparents died that summer. They were like in their 80s. And like only 10 family members were allowed to attend the funeral. Like, no, you don't get to do that to people.
That's insane, man. I went to one too for my stepdad. They capped it at 10 people, and it was outside.
And it's not legal. Find me in the law books. Find me in the Constitution. Find me anywhere where the government just has unilateral power. No, that's not how anything works. Shit's not going to happen again. Nobody better put up with it. I'm glad my family, my immediate family, wife and kids, all that, and then all my wife's relatives who live here, all based and all against all of it. Mm-hmm. And I remember what was the lockdown? Like March 10th or something?
Yeah, something like that. It was like spring,
we had a party here at my house, like April 10th, like, I don't know, it was like birthdays, 30 people here. We just said, we're not doing this. Everywhere we would go, me and my wife would be the only ones that weren't wearing masks. And dude, the pressure was intense, the social pressure. You could just feel everyone looking at you like you were the worst person in the world. Mm-hmm. Going into Costco, we're the only ones that don't have it. Going into the grocery store, the only one, like, dude, it was, but you can't do stuff like that, dude.
But if they tried it again, there are always going to be lambs who want to go to the slaughter. There are always going to be people who are like, no matter what, they're going to be like, no, I believe them. They have our best interests at heart, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do everything they say, and the pokes, even with all of the information, even with all the backtracking that all these fuckers have done, and hey, you guys are right. Turns out that, you ass.
Well, I heard a guy, he was a scientist and a doctor and a liberal guy, and he said that he was so sorry and he was wrong about all of it. And he said, we really thought we were the moral ones, that we were the good people, and we couldn't understand what was wrong with all of you. I saw a headline once, I don't know if it was New York Times or what, but it was like, why didn't the anti-vax people tell us? Why didn't they pressure us more not to take this? It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You want us to tackle you out of line to get your poke?
You want to slap it on the doctor's hand?
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, we're too busy trying to fucking keep you crazy bastards away from us. You sons of bitches.
Oh, Double Bruce was saying that was a fake headline. Oh, was that like an Onion or Babylon Bee? Oh, because I saw it and it didn't say it was like a fake thing. But okay, if it was, then I take that one back.
The Onion.
Yeah. So
yeah, what a fucking.
but yeah, it is. I
sh-
don't want what I don't want to see from the authoritarians that were like they should die alone and they don't get they take their kids and no, they lose their job, they lose their
Yeah.
bank account. I don't want to see any of those people saying, "Hey, we all made mistakes, right?"
Hey, it's time. It's time to heal. It's time to move
Yeah.
on. It's time to move forward.
It's like
You
no, no,
know?
no, no, no. It's time for justice, and you need to pay for what you did, and we need
No.
we need
It's water under the bridge.
reparation for what happened to us. Hell yeah.
It's medicine under the bridge, man. Come on. Come in here. Give me come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. No, man, fuck that shit. And they were saying that, like I said before, on a mainstream basis, on TV, on the news, on television, on late night TV. They were saying that straight up that you're a piece of shit if you don't take this vax.
Right.
You're a Neanderthal. Why aren't you believe it? Blah, 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 all that shit. And when Trump was talking about it, no, never. Come on, I'll never take that shit. And then you put the old man in charge and say, yeah, go ahead and fucking squirt in my eyeballs. So
It's still a little too soon. It's still a little too new, and it hasn't sunk in fully yet. That Biden and that communist DEI authoritarian anti-freedom government is gone.
Mhm.
It hasn't sunk in for me. Like in moments, I'm like, oh yeah. And then I forget.
Yeah.
And then I remember, like, oh yeah. You know,
Yeah.
like you kind of don't remember. And then you're like, oh yeah. The Border Patrol's back. Good.
We made it.
We made it.
We made it.
America survived.
Yeah, I remember saying a couple of years ago, like, I can't wait till this is over. I can't wait until we make it through this storm, and we have. We have. Trump is back in, and it's a different Trump. It's a better Trump. This is the liquid metal Terminator. You know, this is the upgrade.
Right.
That bullet, terrible, and glad it didn't kill him, but it changed him for the better. So we're getting a better version of Trump. So, hey, lefties, bend over and hope that he takes it easy on you.
So when Trump got elected the first time, I told my wife, well, as long as he can get the Supreme Court in a conservative majority, I'll consider that a success. There are many other things I want. I don't want any fake wars, any bullshit. I want a good economy, a safe the border, because fentanyl has always been a thing near and dear to me. Again, I'm not a drug guy. I don't do drugs. I don't need drugs to be safe because I don't take them. But I have kids. I have family members. And I think about young people dying, taking the shit. And it's like the most tragic thing in the world. And an asshole will be like, well, they should be taking drugs. And I agree they shouldn't take it. Young people do. What do you want me to tell you? They party. What do you want me to tell you? Just you got to live in fucking reality. It's a thing that goes on. And a lot more people do it than you would think, which is shocking to me. I found out later in life, like how many people do drugs. I didn't know that because I never hung around those kind of people. But I don't think they should die for it. My God, you know, it's so disgusting to me. 100,000 Americans a year.
Yep. And
like
see,
that's so like that. It just bothers me so much because it's so unnecessary. Can you imagine? You got college age kids that, hey, dad, going out with the buddies, blah, blah. See you. I'll be home at like 1. You go to bed. You wake up at 3, they're not home. Police come to your door at 5, tell you he's dead. Can you imagine? That's happened to so many people.
Yeah.
It's like that's like a nightmare beyond nightmares, dude.
I interviewed the district attorney for the county that I live in, a guy named Clint Curry, and he was talking about fentanyl and how he said every single drug case fentanyl is involved. And he said when we think people dying from fentanyl, we think of an overdose, somebody who was taking it on purpose and they took too much. But he said there's another thing called fentanyl poisonings, where it's somebody who didn't know they were taking fentanyl. You know,
right?
A kid who has a headache and their friend gives them a pill because these cartels, they press this shit up, these pills to look like other pills. They press them up to look like other medications so that they're easier to smuggle in. So you're taking something, you think it's one thing, or you touch something and they're not meaning to. The kids who aren't even into that shit, you know, the fentanyl poisonings, those are even worse because they weren't even trying to fuck with that shit. And, you know, it's unthinkable, you know, what could happen with this shit and to allow it to come over the border. But most of it, another thing he told me, most of it comes on ships from China.
Right. The precursor chemicals come from China and then it's made and it's combined and all that in Mexico. Yeah. And then there you go. So
I say we sink a couple of those fucking ships, bringing that shit over here, send China a message.
I think Trump will deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's not going to do that. That was sort of war, but You know,
But he'll deal with it. Like, hey, you're not going to kill 100,000 Americans a year with this shit.
yeah. And he's already designated the cartels as terrorist organizations. And then maybe that's his way. If you destroy part of the chain, then that Chinese connection, no pun intended, has nothing, you know, but will something spring up in their place? I'm sure, but he's definitely going to make it tough for the cartel to produce drugs when they're worried about getting raided or getting killed by U.S. Special Forces or going there and fuck them up.
Right. Well, remember my book, the Dean Cain All-American Lawman comic, right? You know, it's a really fun, exciting adventure, but what is the premise of the criminals in this book? It's a Chinese overlord of a Mexican gang, and it's fentanyl flooding the streets. That's what I wrote into this book. And remember, his son in this book, Dean Cain's character's son, he has a teammate on the volleyball team that overdoses on fentanyl in the beginning of the book. He doesn't die. I didn't kill the kid in the book, but that's in the story because, you know, it's relevant to me, this stuff, you know, it's important to me. And I wrote about it in the book. So yeah. Mr. Reese has right there, El Chino, the Chinese. He's the Chinese leader of the Mexican cartel that I made up and all that. So I wrote about that specifically, you know, because I thought it was timely. It's kind of like Law and Order, ripped from the headlines.
Yeah, but you know, the cartels, I've seen videos and clips and stuff and pictures. You know, these guys, they look like our soldiers with their equipment and their gear and their blacked out stuff. And maybe they have some Hummers and maybe they have a tank or two and they have, you know, RPGs and they have missile rocket launchers and guns and all this kind of shit. But you have nothing compared to the United States military. You have a fucking shed in your backyard full of shit compared to the United States military. And if you really want to line up and you want to start fucking having battles with the U.S. military, with the 101st Airborne or the 82nd Airborne, okay, I mean, go ahead, man. They'll fuck you up real bad. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure some of them will have to die for them to get the point. You know, there's a famous rapper named Mos Def, and he has a line in one of his songs that says, they always got he says, when their face hits the cement, they nod in agreement. So maybe that's going to have to happen. Maybe we got to bounce some of their heads off the ground to get them to get the point. I mean, of course, they're not going to stop the cartels, all of them. There's too many tentacles, but you can definitely send a message and fuck up their flow for a little bit.
But I mean, yeah, look at this. This was this afternoon before we went on. California Border Patrol sources tell me that a male hiker was injured when two suspected border bandits opened fire in the Jacumba area of the El Centro Sector Valley. So it's like 120 miles east of San Diego out in the desert. And that's right on the Mexican border. There's nothing there. There's some farmland, El Centro, Ocotillo, different places out there. But sources say the members of the cartel tried to rob the group of hikers, about 10 people. The hiker said the bandits were armed and were talking to them, but the hikers couldn't understand Spanish. So the bandits started shooting into the air and then fired shots at the group, hitting the man in the leg. Bortac extracted him. His condition is not known right now. Thank God Trump is putting Marines and all that on the border. Can you imagine you're hiking in your country and you just get attacked like that? Insane.
That's fucking wild, man. But you could expect them to put up a fight, you know, if we start messing with their drug flow or with not even the drugs, the illegals. That's what they make more money off of. So
Right,
if we start fucking up their money, we could definitely expect them to have a problem with that. But it depends on, you know, how they want to do it. Are they going to do like they do in Mexico where they'll, you know, hit a judge or something and blow them up or some shit like that? I mean, yeah, you can if you want to, but Trump's not above sending a drone over your fucking leader's house.
Yeah, I think the backlash would be not worth it for them to do it that way. So
yeah, the juice wouldn't be worth the squeeze because next thing you know, you guys are getting a fucking 500-pound JM down your chimney. Fucking
Heather points out another excuse not to exercise. Can you imagine you're the boyfriend and you go on that hike and you didn't want to go hiking, but your girlfriend had to go hiking?
And you're all laid up on the couch with a bullet hole in your leg. You just had to fucking with your little bell. Ling, 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 ling. What do you need, sweetheart? I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. It's okay. The doctor said, though.
Doctor said they'll probably walk again.
Yeah, but he said if you stimulate my crotch with your mouth, That should
No,
help the
it's good
blood
for
flow.
relaxation. It's good for
Yeah, it helps
relaxation.
the blood flow and then endorphins
yeah.
or whatever. Oh yeah, I'm so sorry, blah, blah. So yeah, maybe it's worth it, guys. Go out and take that bullet in the calf.
Yeah.
Fucking reap the benefits when you get home.
Ugh.
I can't wait to see what he does, man. And Tom Holman, that dude's a fucking pit bull off the leash. So this is gonna be fun.
Right. Yeah. I saw him on a CNN interview, and they're like, we're going after criminals and this and that. But if the criminal's hiding out somewhere, we go, then there's other undocumented people there, then they're going back too. And the host was like all mad about it and trying to argue with him about it. It's like, what part of illegal alien don't you fucking understand?
Dude.
You're here. It's illegal for you to be here. So you have to go. That isn't racism. That's called the law.
Yep.
And
try that shit in Mexico. If they found you there illegally, you're fucking going home.
Yeah, go to Mexico right now and go to their. I mean, do they even have welfare? Like, go to their services office and try and get everything for free. As an American.
Try to get the paperwork in English. Try that first.
Right.
Because we'll damn sure have it here in Spanish and Cantonese and fucking Vietnamese and German.
My friend,
French. What the fuck?
The big Comic-Con party we had. I don't know if you met my friend Hector, but he's a Mexican guy. He lives in Tijuana. I've gone down there and had lunch with him a few times. He's a big fan of the comics and stuff that I do. And I asked him about it. I'm like, what is the general consensus here in Tijuana where you live with your Mexican friends and, compatriots that you live with about Trump and the wall and all that? He said most of them hate it. They think that the Republicans or Trump are total racists and they hate it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, gosh, damn it. I wish that propaganda didn't work so well, but it just does. You just scream bigot and people believe it, man.
Mm-hmm.
So,
especially if they're seen as the victim.
Right. Of course. So, but it's just like, we don't care what race is to our southern border. It wouldn't matter what race it is. You can't just come here. You can't, that's not, what do we have? Unlimited resources here? So just 8 billion humans just come here?
Fuck no.
Do you know that? I mean, we all know how much health insurance costs for wife and kids and all that. Could be $1,000, $2,000. It's so much money, health insurance. Mm-hmm. If you're an illegal in California, you get free health insurance. The rest of us can pay. I pay my health insurance every month. I'm self-employed, by the way. Don't have a company paying my health insurance.
Mm-hmm.
I have my company paying my health insurance. So, yeah. But if I was an illegal, I could just have it for free because fucking why not?
Yep. You get a bunch of shit for free. Housing, fucking sex change, whatever. And it used to be only for older immigrants, but they lowered the age to all the way into their 20s. So now they can take care of a wider range.
Well, no, Gavin Newsom said it's everyone can get the insurance. Everyone who's illegal, any age, doesn't matter. All of them now.
Perfect.
That's the law. That's the law in the state here. Perfect. I think, California allegedly has 40 million people in it. I think there's probably like 5 or 10 million illegals here. I think so.
Yeah, at least.
I think so.
Maybe I think like 15. Like there's a bunch of them because they've been coming in. Remember how long they've been telling us there's 11 million illegals here. 11 million. There's only 11 million for years, at least 10 years. So there's way fucking more than 11 million for sure. But we'll see. Maybe after a while there won't be that many left here.
There's a rumor that Kamala's divorcing her husband and blaming him for a lucky guy. You get away from her. Jeez.
Yeah, man. That's a win. I mean, I should have done this shit a long time ago. I can do that. Yeah, she doesn't need you for the optics anymore.
To stand behind her like her trained SEAL or whatever.
Yeah, she doesn't need you anymore.
Can you imagine? You're being a man, you're trying to have like some self-respect, some authority in your marriage, and your wife's up there giving all the talk, and you're just like holding her purse. It's like the cuck chair at the women's department store. Your wife takes 500 clothing items into that little changing room, and you sit in that chair like an asshole.
Oh yeah.
I don't do that.
Store or whatever.
I don't do that. My wife wants to buy shoes or clothes. Like, go by yourself. Go with your sister. I'm not doing that. That's stupid. Yeah, I don't need to go shopping with you.
No, I'm good. But I forgot what I was going to say. But
you're going to say you love chunky peanut butter.
No, I'll never fucking say that. That would be a lie. We don't do that here. We don't lie here. Tell the truth. But it is nice to have. Oh yeah, Kamala. The rumor of Kamala leaving or divorcing her husband. She doesn't need him. You know, she already lost miserably. So yeah, he's free to go bang the nanny or whatever he wants to do.
Again.
He's like, yeah, I'm out of here. Because who gives a shit about Kamala? She's not going to run anymore. The beating was too sound.
Dude,
Can't
she could run for governor here, and I don't know if the idiots here would do it or not.
No way, man. She's too attached to Gavin Newsom.
After the
He's not.
fires we had here, and there's an insane fire. You know Magic Mountain, the huge amusement park in LA, north of LA in Valencia. There's an insane fire there right now, broke out this afternoon near Lake Castasic, near Valencia, Santa Clarita. This is north of Hollywood and all that by about 15 miles, which is like an hour and a half drive in LA. But yeah, insane fire there right now. And there's a historic, probably 50-something-year-old famous amusement park there called Six Flags Magic Mountain. And yeah, it's not, the amusement park's not on fire yet, and hopefully they get it all under control, but horrible shit. But I saw this today. Tell me what you think of this. Breaking, it is now 5 p.m. Eastern time, and all federal DEI offices are completely shut down, and the DEI hire employees terminated.
Yeah.
And Trump also sent out memos telling everyone in the government, don't take these DEI employees and give them a different title and try and hide this shit in other departments. I already saw one. I forgot what, I don't know if it was the TSA or it was the ATF, I think, or something. And the lady was like DEI coordinator on the website. Then someone showed an updated picture, and it said like senior president, like whatever, like, you know, like she just had a very normal title now. It's like, nah, get out.
Fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here.
Get out of here with that bullshit, that fucking poison and that nonsense. Yeah, he said that yesterday. Well, no, 2 days ago now at the inauguration. He's like, at 5 o'clock, these pieces of shit gotta go.
Right.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Mr. Reese asked, were there any fires today? Yes, I believe, YouTube, it's a theory of mine, there's arson. Thank God no houses burnt down that I know of. But at 1 in the morning on Monday night or going into Tuesday, there were 2 fires in this place called Fallbrook and Paula. It's between San Diego and Temecula, and it's country. It's just hills with bushes, dry brown bushes. That's what grows out here, these chaparral bushes. They're like kindling these things. And through 2 fires right on the same freeway, about 5-10 miles apart. They put them out. There was a fire about 500 or 1,000 feet from my childhood home. I don't live there now. This afternoon, it went up. Yesterday, I was going to the store with my wife to buy light bulbs for my garage, the big 8-foot bulbs, the fluorescent ones. And we look up to the hill where USD, the University of San Diego, is black and brown smoke. There was a fire set right next to thousands of condominiums. There's been about 6 or 7 fires set in the last 24 hours. And I think it's arson. It's my theory, YouTube. I'm not saying it is, but I think it is. You know,
Usually
so yeah, it's gnarly, dude. Because if you came out here, we live in a desert. That's what people don't understand about Southern California. It doesn't rain here much at all. It's not like, oh, you live by the ocean, it's humid like Florida. No, it's not humid here.
Hell no.
No, it's not humid here at all. It's like perfect weather. It's like 65 degrees all the time. 65, 70 degrees all the time at my house. And but it's not humid. It's and in fact it's normal, and then it gets dry with these Santa Ana winds. Yeah, I told people earlier in the show, it's like an air fryer. Super hot, dry wind. It like makes your nose hurt. You got to drink extra water, drink Gatorade because you get a headache because it's so dehydrating. I went and bought 2 sugar-free Gatorades this afternoon because I told my wife I'm not getting a headache with these damn winds. And yeah, it's I think it's arson, dude, because it's been going off near housing things, you know. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost like Vegas. If you look at like an aerial shot of Los Angeles, look around it, like the outskirts of the city, and it's just desert.
Yeah,
I know it's a metropolis there and shit, but no, LA is a big ass desert.
Yeah, it's just filled with these little scrub brushes that are really crispy brown bushes everywhere. I think they're called chaparrals, and it's easy for a fire to go crazy on that stuff,
especially with those winds.
Yeah, man. And just imagine you're blowing hot, dry wind onto the fire, right? It's insane. But if you look at it, let me see. I'll try and zoom in on this. Hold on. Yeah, I'll just pick a random spot in San Diego. Okay, let me bring this up here. This is what it looks like between the houses. You see this stuff here? These are just like grayish brown bushes, and they're just everywhere. And every canyon and thing between, there's probably a golf course there, but everything between the houses is hilly. So it's hard to drive you can't drive a truck up a lot of it, a fire truck, because it's hills. And it's just covered in these brown bushes everywhere, until you get to the mountains, and then there's trees. And then there's just thousands, hundreds of thousands of homes. So it's just, it's easy to burn this shit down. Look at that. That's all bushes there on that mountain, that little ridge. That thing caught on fire, dude. That's insane. So a memo was released showing a thing, Governor Newsom, who needs to resign right now, saying that they were going to do all this fire protection stuff in the budget for people who live out near the bushes in the country and all that more. But he didn't want to, because for the environment, there's too much urban sprawl. There's too many people sprawling out. We don't want to protect these places and have all this budget and money spent to allow people to live out there easily. We want people to move closer to urban centers and jobs and all. It's like, who the fuck are you telling me where I'm going to live on this earth? Get the hell out of here. No, you don't get to live in the country if you want. You need to live in the city. Who do you think you are? Like, who do you think you are telling people stuff like that? That's insane, dude. So,
but they don't get pushback for all that crazy shit and their arrogance. They get no pushback from it. So why not? Why wouldn't you try to do something like that? No one's ever told their ass no at every level, because they always surround themselves with all these psychos who are going to, just continue right along with them. Look at the fucking lady in charge of power and water?
Right.
LA should make $750,000.
Right. Someone in the chat wanted to know $750,000 to run the water. You don't deserve a salary like that. Think about what you want to think about. Wants to know where Death Valley is. Okay, well, where my mouse, you see where San Diego is here. I'm moving my mouse. San Diego doesn't go like right here. It goes all the way up to where I'm moving my mouse, like up here. This is and all the way down to the border, which is here. This is the border here. You see the line. That's the Mexican border there. So this is where the Navy SEALs train, this island right here. That's Coronado there. And that's where the Navy SEALs train. Death Valley's out here. That's the Salton Sea. It's way out here, Death Valley. It's let's see. It's gonna be,
it's close to Nevada.
Death Valley National Park's right here. So it's on the border of Nevada and let me switch to a different view, right? It's on the border, but Death Valley's right there. And it's the hottest place on earth. I used to do the weather page for the newspaper. I worked for the city paper when I was in college. And I would take a map of America and I would look up like the same 25 cities every day. And I'll plug in the temperature, the hot, the low, the weather. I put it on the map. And every fucking day, Death Valley, 123, 125, 121. It's the hottest. It's literally the hottest place on earth. It's hotter than the Sahara Desert over in the Arab nations. It is the hottest place on earth, the Sahara or the Death Valley. So it's insane. And that's because it's so far below sea level, right? So the lower you go, the hotter you're going to get, right? The higher you go to top of a mountain, there's snow, right? It gets colder. There's less atmosphere. So yeah, Death Valley's aptly named. It's named correctly.
Yeah, in the summertime, it's insane, man. And even up here, you get the local weather, but then they, pan out and you see the whole state, and it's always fucking flaming hot down there.
Well, Heather brings up a good point too. They need to make some plants and trees illegal to grow. Yeah, palm trees, Hollywood, LA, San Diego, palm trees, they're not native to here. They were brought here like 100 years ago. They're from like the Arab lands. They're from like islands in the South Pacific. They are not native to where we live. Nope. They go up like a candle because the fronds on a palm tree, they grow, they dry, and then they hang. And a lot of people don't pay the gardeners to manicure it because the tree's now 30 feet tall, 40 feet. They get really tall, the palm trees. And it's a job to go up there and cut those stupid things off. And they just get crispy and dry and they just hang on the edges of the trees. But that's a plant that doesn't even belong here. When you think of Southern California, all you think of is palm trees. And that's not even, it's just not even a native species. So
same with eucalyptus trees.
Right.
Those are from Australia.
That's from Australia. Tony sent those here. So yeah. Havasu is 127. Wow. That's brutal.
That's nuts, man. So unnecessary. Yeah, that's where they make heat down there. Start getting into fucking Arizona. Oof. Ay, ay, ay. That's too hot down there.
The hottest I had to look it up because I just want to know. The hottest temperature ever recorded in the United States was 134 degrees in Death Valley, California on July 10th, 1913. However, it was,
Damn.
that's 112 years ago. So who knows about the accuracy. But the hottest weather I've ever been in was 122. I was in Baker, California, which is about 2 stoplights and 2 gas stations in the middle of the desert between Vegas and San Diego, because I always drive back and forth. And I prefer to drive than to fly to Vegas. I don't know. I just like to drive for some reason. I got out of my car to go have lunch at the Mad Greek. There's a Greek restaurant in Baker with delicious shawarma and gyro sandwiches, really good food. And there's the world's tallest thermometer in Baker, California. And I got out of my car. I was with my friend Nick, and it was 122 degrees. And it was so hot. It was just kind of funny because you couldn't believe it. Got out of the car and just kind of looked at each other and laughed. But all right, I guess we're going inside to eat.
Yeah, man, it's unreal.
This is Baker here. It's about 3 or 4 blocks long. This is the world's tallest thermometer. And then when you drive on the 15 freeway, you can see how hot it is, I guess, in the desert. And it should just say at the top, "Fuck, it's hot."
Yeah, fuck! Exclamation point. You'll know exactly what that means. So,
Secretary, not sure. He lives here like me, as does the whore of one. They both live here. And it's going to be on 74 tomorrow in San Diego. So I hope you guys are all enjoying the winter while I enjoy my 74-degree weather here. So
yeah, it's cold up here where I am, but not like it doesn't snow, but it's definitely not 74.
Yeah,
that's for sure. About 10, 12, 13, 14 degrees cooler than that.
Yeah, man. Well, I think we're going to wrap things up here in a little bit. I'm pumped up. Business is going better than ever. The comic books are coming out great. And just the Biden nightmare is over. And all that abuse of authority and the horrible shit with the government, it's over. We can have incandescent light bulbs again.
What? What about gas stoves? Are they going to back the fuck up on those too? Jeez.
It just seems like everything they want to do is like, what? You like that? Well, fuck you. I'm taking it away. That seemed like their policy,
Well, they're all about revenge. They're all about, the rabbit.
Except we didn't do anything to them. It's not my fault. You're a loser, so you're jealous and want to fuck with me.
I'm not the one who held you upside down in the toilet and gave you a swirly.
As my brother said, my success has nothing to do with your failure. That's a saying my brother told someone that was giving him shit once.
Yeah, we didn't do that to you, Biden. You're 700 years old. Remember, we weren't even there.
Double Brewski, you take that back. He said California would be nice if it weren't for all the California. Let me tell you something about California Double Brewski.
That's only a few Californians.
There are more Republicans in this state than there are people in yours. Okay, it's not. I mean, it looks like a blue hell. Colorado's worse. Colorado's way more liberal. Oregon is way worse. We just have more people here, but no, this is the heartland, all the farming. Like, there's a ton of good people here.
Yeah,
and
we just get fucked by the coast.
And let me defend California even further. The shithead liberals in Hollywood, they're not from here. They're all people who grew up in Iowa and Missouri, and they resented their Christian family, and they wanted to go to Hollywood and become a drug-addicted devil. They're not from here. You go to LA and you talk to actors, they're not from here. So it isn't Californians. It's the refuse of mid-America coming here to be a liberal shithead, rebelling against their parents. I've met so many, none of them are from here. I've worked in the entertainment industry forever. There's so few people that are like, yeah, I was born in LA and now I'm an actor. That's like not as common. They're all shitheads from the Midwest.
Yeah, and California, our bad reputation comes from 2 places. It comes from Southern California and it comes from Silicon Valley,
right?
Meaning the Bay Area, San Francisco, and
the Bay Area and Hollywood,
San Jose, and all that shit. That's where it comes from. Everybody who lives near farmland, like I do, a lot of orchards up here, down near the coast. You have the more crop type stuff like artichokes, strawberries, and shit like that. So people who work for a living, they don't pull that shit. I've seen so many, when Obama was president, so many anti-Obama billboards and stuff, about the water and everything like that. So nah, California just gets a bad rep because Hollywood is huge. They put out movies and TV. So yeah, they're big. And then all the platforms that are being censored and shit, they're all from Silicon Valley in the Bay Area. So a lot of good, way more good Californians than bad.
But here's the thing. It shifted culturally. The cultural shift, the pendulum swung. And now when these people come with you, you're racist, bigot, homophobe, you just tell them to fuck off and you laugh at them and it works now. Like everyone has come out of the dark and go, oh, we just stand up to these idiots. We outnumber them. And we do outnumber them. Normal people, even left-wing normal people, no one wants this stuff anymore. And we won. We won. They're defeated. All their studios are closing. Their video games and all their movies aren't making any more. We won. Fuck off. It's cool to love your country. It's cool to love your heritage and your country.
Yeah.
Your state and mine suffer the same problem. I believe in it's turning around. I'm not leaving. I was thinking of leaving. I'm not leaving. It's turning around, damn it. So hold on. $2 gets you the booty.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty.
Shake it, damn it.
That's right, baby.
Let's see it.
And Trump's going to fix the water. That's what I hear. He better. Though I don't even want to talk about the water. When you find out about what they do with the water in this state, there's Lake Hodges, North County, San Diego, probably 15 miles from my house or 20 miles up that way, right by where I grew up in North County. Rancho Bernardo is a really nice part in North San Diego. There's a lake there, a man-made lake with a dam. It's like 110, 120 years old. I think I saw in the news, KUSI's local San Diego news, I think they let out this last year 11 billion gallons of water to the sea because they don't upkeep the dam and they're afraid the dam might break. So they just have to let the water go when it gets to a certain height.
Because you know what the ocean needs? More water.
Right. Why would you upkeep a 110-year-old dam? Those things last a million years, right? You don't need to upkeep them.
Yeah, why not do that? Maintain them, fortify them.
Remember, 2015, it was on the ballot, and the California people, left-wing and right-wing, passed like a $10 billion resolution to build new reservoirs and upkeep all the old dams and reservoirs. And guess what we've done since then? Not one brick has been laid. Not one bag of Portland cement has been dumped out and to build. So where's the money?
Well, they set the money aside. And it's waiting in an account. So when we get around to it, we can use it.
Oh, okay.
It's still there.
Next fire. We'll get them next fire.
The account that they have that money in is right next to the account that has the money for the high-speed rail.
Oh, the high-speed rail to Vegas that's coming for 20 years.
Yeah. So they didn't spend it or anything. It's just waiting. It's just.
I remember I heard on the news like 15, 20 years ago, they started some commission to do a study and blah, 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 all the analysis of the high-speed rail to Vegas from LA and all. And they spent over $1 billion for reports and studies. And I think it was Dianne Feinstein's relative just so happened to be one of the people that had a company that was contracting with the government for this. I believe. I'm alleging that. I don't remember the details. This was years ago when I heard this. Dianne Feinstein was a senator here forever.
A million years.
She passed away
in her
like
90s.
she was like in her 90s, but
yeah, old as fuck.
Well, California doesn't suck. It's the most beautiful place in America, and we are going to make it great again. We are.
Gorgeous. She needs a lot of help.
Does everything in his power to strong arm Gavin Newsom and the politicians here to knock it off and make California the great all-American powerhouse that it should be.
Yeah.
You know,
5th largest economy in the world. Our budget, the money that comes to this state dwarfs countries, entire countries.
Right.
Anyway, it's all fucked up.
The money is in Gavin Newsom's bank account for his hair gel. Ugh. The last thing, remember during the lockdown, you had to wear a mask, you couldn't go anywhere. And then our governor, Gavin Newsom, was caught at the most exclusive restaurant in the world. It takes like a year to get a reservation there. He was caught at the French Laundry up in Napa. So that's like Jericho's neck of the woods up there in Northern California. This is California wine country. This is Marin County, north of San Francisco, the richest, rich bullshit tech Silicon Valley people. And I remember reading about it. Not only did they violate everything they punished others for, so just on principle, it's evil, but the amount of our money, when I pay these fucking California taxes. I paid my sales tax last week. That was fun. And then my wife finished my other yearly taxes the other day because she's an accountant. So that was fun. The tip, not the bill, the tip for this dinner with Gavin Newsom and like these other muckety mucks, the tip, not for the meal, for the booze, was $3,000. The tip for the booze was $3,000 for this dinner they were not supposed to be at.
And he was at the dinner with other
Right.
all the medical professionals and stuff and heads of committees and departments who were making the rules. They were all hobnobbing together. The bill was like 15 grand. If you look at the French Laundry menu, it's insane.
Right.
Two people can't get out of there for like under $1,000.
Right.
It's insane, man. And there was a whole table full of them.
Look at
Yeah,
there's
right
the
there.
This is like one of the bus boys took the picture or something. I don't know who did it, but it's a hero that took this picture. That is infuriating shit.
No masks, no social distancing. The fact that they're out, we weren't allowed to be out like this. And they're just, nothing's changed for them. All that, man. You think Gavin Newsom, you think he took that out of his personal account to pay for that shit? Or any one of them? They all work for the state of California. And they're fucking wives. You think they took it out of their own personal account? Hell no. We paid for that $15,000 meal. Look how many people are there. Are there enough people there to justify $15,000 worth of food? Fucking bastards.
Let's take a little look-see at the French Laundry restaurant. Let's go look at their pretentious ass website. Let's see the menu, the daily menu. Nice fucking website. Chef's tasting menu.
Taste this.
It has no price on it. That's not a good sign.
Oh, that means market value or market price.
Chef selection. Let's go back. How do we go back here? Private dining.
I mean, that's some good looking shit right there. That's some good looking stuff.
Is there?
But yeah, this is the super. This is the shit you see.
Here?
This is the shit you see in magazines.
Right. I mean, it's a Michelin star restaurant, but we're not going to find the prices on here. But this is what they do with our money, dude. And then they're arresting people. Remember the guy that it was like the Tin Roof Bar and Grill in LA or whatever? And he fought with the cops over and over. And he kept opening his restaurant over and over. And they kept arresting him. Do you remember that? He was a guy in LA and he kept like, no, we're open. They kept shutting him down. Meanwhile, Newsom and these dickheads are over here at the French Laundry eating, $20,000 worth of food or whatever.
There's a lady in LA who had a restaurant and they shut her down, but right next door to her, they had a movie going. And so they had the tent set up for their food and they were able to serve food to all the actors and shit, but she couldn't run her restaurant right next door.
What about Tim Walz as governor of Minnesota making a snitch phone line where you could snitch on your neighbors?
Yeah, you fucking rat. They had something like that in California.
Rat fucking bastard with his.
They had something like that in California for people who had out of state plates and they never registered their cars in California. They just kept paying the cheaper out of state registration. So they had a phone number for you to call and turn people in if you knew that they were living here.
Why would you do something like that?
Because you're a piece of shit. That's why. It's the only reason why.
Reporting like a violent crime or sexual crime, like reporting like a real crime.
An actual crime, yeah.
You're reporting your neighbor because they had 6 people for Thanksgiving during the lockdown. You're a piece of shit if you do that.
You sat there and opened your blinds and counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 people. Boop, 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 boop. Hello.
Yeah. $3,000 for the tip for the alcohol.
Good. $3,000 for the alcohol. So that means if it's 20%. That means that bill was what?
You think he's leaving 20%?
I mean, if that's the average, right? I mean, if you're not paying for it.
I mean, it's our money, right? Why wouldn't he go all out and leave
30? He's like, hey, here, just reach in my wallet and take out what you want.
Hey, get yourself something nice.
Yeah, fuck it, why not? It's easy to spend other people's money.
Look at this shit. Santa Clara County had a snitch line. Fuck
yeah, Santa Clara's right there. It's like at the taint of the Bay Area. That's like South Bay, San Jose, but you're still on the outer rim of Silicon Valley there.
California can be the greatest, most American state if we could shake loose this stupid government we have. There's
We have the
still
people for it.
so much opportunity. The spirit of the West is still alive here. People like say what you want about the liberal weirdos, but people that come out here are go-getters. Like, even though they're liberals, they're like, I'm going to come out here and be an actor. Like that's a go-getter. I don't care if they're a liberal asshole. That's a go-getter to leave everything you know behind and like come out here and get in this ultra competitive business. How many people come out to be here and actors come out here to be an actor and actually end up as one, right? You know, like what the hell? How many people are successful actors, like making bank? Not many, a couple hundred.
Yeah.
There are thousands and thousands of actors, but they're not making any money. You book a commercial for Sudafed, they give you 50 grand. You don't work again all year, right?
Yeah.
That's what I hear. Like the commercial actors, they book a commercial and they try and book all year and they can't get anything, you know? So.
Yeah, I think we have the people to make California great. We just don't have the politicians.
Right.
So we need to get rid of those cocksuckers.
I also heard a crazy one. Let's see. Didn't Tim Walz have the National Guard walking through like Minnesota in 2020? Like curfew enforcement, right?
Didn't he change the state flag?
Yeah, he changed it to the Somalian flag, basically.
Yeah, it looks just like the Somali flag. What a fucking cuck.
Thank God that guy's nowhere near the White House.
Like, dude, I'm not changing my state flag to look anything like no fucking other country's flag. Fuck, how many of you?
You never leave kids with that guy. I wouldn't leave pictures of kids with that guy, let alone real kids.
Hey, like Chris Rock said, I wouldn't let him watch my kids on TV. That's the truth.
That guy's obviously disgusting.
What a cuck pussy bitch you are to change your state flag to look anything like another country's flag. I don't give a damn if it was England, one of our allies. I don't give a shit who it is. Man, you're tripping. You know fuck how many of you Somali refugees live there. Better get with the damn program.
Right.
Fucking weak. What a weak man. Nothing pisses me off more.
Yeah, let's go look at this. Oh, Reuters has it as false, the fact check. Okay. That it looks like.
I saw I saw a video of that.
No, it is. Look at this. We'll do it ourselves. We'll do it live. We'll do it ourselves. Okay,
we'll do it live.
Here's the Minnesota flag. You fucking tell me. Is their old flag, the drawing, the land, the people,
there you go. That's the one I grew up seeing.
Now here it is now. Somalia's flag, Minnesota's flag. Oh, nothing similar at all.
Get the fuck. Where'd that star come from? And the blue color. Get out of here. Never.
Raghu Overler said he got pulled over by the police in May of 2020. Lockdown was tough in 2020, 2021. Yeah, I mean, we didn't comply. We defied as much as we could, here. I told Jericho, I think I told you guys on the show, the stupidest thing that ever happened. So I went to Pacific Beach. It's a pretty cool beach right by here. And I was with my wife, and it was, go there, watch the sunset, hang out. It's really nice. We're sitting down talking, and a police officer on a little quad, little 4x4, little whatever, ATV, rolls up to me, and my wife says, "You can't sit." I'm like, "What?" So you have to stand. You can't sit at the beach. You have to stand. And I didn't fight with him because what are you going to do? You're going to fight and then get arrested for what? Like, it's so stupid. But I said, okay, stand up. In the same spot I'm sitting, we'll just stand up. Got it.
So but, now you're good. You're safe. You're safe.
Crisis. Never forget this, guys watching. Crisis reveals character. Everybody's cool when everything is cool. But when the shit goes down, the masks come off. And you see who's a monster. You see who's a fucking coward and a pussy. You see who's an idiot. When the shit goes down, you see who people are, man. And COVID was illuminating for all of us.
You see who's going to push the bullshit too, even though they know it's wrong. Like those cops, like, come on, man, this is horse shit.
Can you imagine calling the snitch line on your neighbor because they're having a birthday party? Can you imagine, dude?
Hey, I want to know too. I want to know so I know what piece of shit neighbor I have. I want to know who's going to call that line.
Mr. Reese is like, it's the opposite of the restaurant. Yeah, remember, you have to be standing and wear your mask. And when you sit in the restaurant, you can take it off. At the beach, you can't be sitting. You have to stand.
You got to keep all that shit straight, man.
What
So
if I just do endless cartwheels? Will that do it?
I don't know. Just make sure that you're kind of
Because then
hunched
you're
down
high and
so you're
low and
not
high and
too
low
high.
and high and low. Just
You gotta
somersaulting my
stay,
way through town.
yeah. You got to stay under the sweet and sour sniffle threshold.
What
You can't
about
go
at the
too
circus?
high.
What about the guy on stilts? Is he allowed on stilts now, or we just have to pretend he's on stilts now? Or
You have to pretend that he's not. What about people in wheelchairs? So they never got it because they never
what about
stood up.
a basketball player? Here's the reverse of the wheelchair guy. A basketball player
Uh-oh.
who's like 7'6". So
He's
even
done.
when he sits, he's still like 5'2". So it's like he's at standing height.
He's done.
What happens?
He's
Does
done.
he just
No, because
does he just explode and die, or what happens there?
no, because the sweet and sour sniffles, it knows. It knows if you're trying. And if you're trying, it won't get you. But if it knows you're not trying, it'll get you.
Oh.
That's nonsense.
The
Absolutely.
review overlord says, when the masks went on, the mask went off. I like that.
Yeah, some people loved it, man. They were like, yes, I matter. I'm important. I have the machine behind me so I can wag my finger at all these people. Yes.
Sometimes I'm a hyper logical person. The people that really know me are like, wow, you're like a computer sometimes. And things that are illogical really bother me, like the shaving the head to make the hair grow thicker. It's just illogical. So it pissed me off when I was like 6 years old and learned about it. Because my cousin had previously told me that your hair's not alive. That's why you can't feel it when you cut it. Anyway, the HIPAA stuff pissed me off during COVID because they're like, you can't ask someone if they're vaccinated. And I say, yes, you can. HIPAA makes it so your doctor won't tell anyone. And this infuriated me because it's illogical and legally unsound. They said, no, they can ask you everywhere if you're vaxxed. The HIPAA laws where people can't ask about your medical status, that applies to your doctor. Your doctor can't tell anyone. It's like, okay, so my medical privacy that I want to keep, I can't keep it, but my doctor can keep it for me, but I'm not allowed to keep my own privacy. Are you fucking retarded? There's no one more on earth that has the right to keep my privacy than me, you idiot. If
the answer is yes and yes.
My doctor, in addition to me, has to keep all my stuff private. You think I don't have to keep my shit private?
No.
Get out of here.
It depends on how they need to twist it and mold it and shape it to fit their psychosis.
But don't lies like that, they just infuriate you because it's like, I'm not stupid.
I mean, is
so
it
now
a
you're
lie?
talking to me like I'm stupid, so that's infuriating too.
Ridiculous, man. I'm so glad we're past that.
He said reply with, do you have herpes? Yeah, I actually told someone something like that. It was something really gross like that. So
yes, thanks for asking.
Yeah, neighbors are blasting off giant fireworks, didn't even think of calling anyone. Yeah, I think if you're like snitching on people for very normal stuff, you're a piece of crap.
Yeah.
Mind your own business. I heard someone say, you know what's good for your teeth? Milk. You know what else is good for your teeth? Minding your own fucking business.
Milk and minding your own fucking business.
Right. Both those things are excellent for your dental health.
Great for the calcium in your mouth.
Right.
Agreed.
But we're past all of it, guys. We're in a new golden age for America. I think Trump and his people are going to be unleashed, and we're going to take these liberals, drag them kicking and screaming to victory. It's
That's right, you little bastards.
I'll tell all of you this. If this stuff works with Trump and all the money and the opportunity, you are being given a gift that people haven't seen in decades, maybe a century or whatever. Who knows? This is going to be generational opportunity. It will not come again in your life. And it didn't come for your ancestors probably for a long time. Take advantage of it. Stay alive, stay healthy, work hard, take chances and risks, and like be bold, man. Don't dream of doing something. Go out there and do it. Now's the time. I made another video telling people to just seize the moment. The diet starts today. The getting out of debt starts today. Lifting weights and praying and eating right and, like being good and fixing your marriage. It all starts today because the next few years, the opportunity, I think, to like make generational wealth and success and happiness and spiritual well-being is going to be unprecedented in our culture if Trump and them are able to enact it. So take advantage. You're being given a gift historically that others will not see.
Yep, I'm taking full advantage. Full advantage.
Right.
So let's go. Let's fucking go.
Well, we were supposed to have Matthew on. He got caught up. The guy's got 9 kids. So
It gets kind of busy over there.
he didn't
We
call me.
understand.
We're really sorry. He said he got caught up in all this stuff. He had to run errands, and he's got people from out of town. And I can only imagine what his house is like with 9 kids and out of town visitors.
Yeah, just on the day-to-day with that many people in the house. Yeah, I get it. But he'll be back.
Yeah, we'll get him on, and I think we'll do it a little earlier because he's in Texas. He's 2 hours ahead of us. So I told him I work from home. Jericho is working from home mostly. We make our own schedules pretty easily. You tell me what you want to do. You want to go on at 4 or 5 California time? We'll go on early for you if that's what we need to do. You know, because
no
it's
problem.
late for him. It's 9, 10 o'clock at night or whatever over there. So we'll get him on and we'll publicize it and make sure everyone has a great time. So
Yeah,
maybe we'll do it
for
next
you.
week. I'll talk to him. He called me today. We talked about it for like half an hour. We talked about life and all these other things. Man, he told me some exciting. I bet. Shut up. He told me some really fun stuff on the phone. So yeah,
Cool.
It's gonna be awesome. So, Mr. Reese, you thought you missed him? No, I had false advertisement tonight. I thought I had him on. Then he called me at like 6:30 or something, and he's like, "Dude, I'm sorry. I'm running to get this person and pick up this kid and run into the store." And it was already like, almost 9 o'clock over there, and he was doing all this shit. So he's a good guy. He's an honest guy, but he has 9 kids. So
What can you do?
so what do you want?
Yeah,
I almost
we'll have
didn't
him
do the
back,
show
for
today
sure.
because my internet's been out for like a day and a half. And they finally fixed it at like 4 p.m. But it's been just coming and going on the internet. I keep getting text messages from the stupid internet company. You're still online, but there will be fluctuations in service. We'll text you when it's fixed or whatever. And finally, after a day and a half.
So I'm not online, you piece of shit.
Yeah, I know. They're telling me in the text, you are online. Like, am I? Am I
Yeah,
really?
well,
Because my
not.
email wasn't loading forever.
That's why you're texting me.
Right. So you got anything for the audience? We're going to get out of here. Oh, and the next movie I want to do, I told you I'd let you pick, but I have a nominee. 1990s Ninja Turtles. Loved that movie.
Oh, great movie. Should have stopped right there.
Okay.
Should have stopped right there. The first
Right.
one. Mhm.
Right. So,
But no, I got more videos coming up. Like I said, I'm gonna do a video about that stupid bishop and her chastising of
somebody shut this bitch up.
47th. Yeah, shut these bishop. So yeah, just keep an eye out. Make sure you like and subscribe to all my platforms, and we'll be back here next Wednesday. Boo.
We'll be back here with either Ninja Turtles or Matthew Marston. So we'll see. We'll see. But sorry about tonight. He had 9 kids. He's got a lot to deal with, and he couldn't handle it tonight. And I told him he was going to come on, to be honest with you guys. He says, "Oh, when I get back, I'll get the kid. I'll go to the store. So then I'll pop in." I said, "We'll just do it during the day when you can do it." So he was still going to come in after all this shit, So I told him, no, it's too much. You're too tired. So,
That's all
but
good.
we'll have him next week, or Ninja Turtles, and we'll have him later. Love
Yep.
you guys. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the like, all that. Go to bigmancomics.com. Empyrean is coming very soon. The Unstoppable Tigress after that. You could still get first printings of Dean Key and All-American Lawman. I'm sitting on about 200 of them or so. The signed editions, I think I have like 5 or 6 left from signed by Dean. I have just a handful. So go to bigmancomics.com. You can get apparel. You can get the Dean Cain book. And soon you'll be able to get a lot of other stuff. Watch out for me on Twitter. I'm Big Man Comics. I'm Gabe LT. You see how to spell it right there. Everywhere else on social media. He is JG Talk 2 on
That's
Instagram.
right.
And then Green_Jericho on Twitter. And then
That's
Jericho
right.
Green everywhere else, right?
You got it.
All right, guys. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.